Good evening, chat. How are you guys doing tonight? Welcome. Good evening, chat. How are you guys doing tonight? Welcome to the Thursday night show. I am Sean, also known as Potentially Criminal. I'm an attorney in the Cleveland, Ohio area, and tonight we've got a lot of fun. I don't know. Some of it's funny, some of it's pretty freaking serious. Pretty freaking serious as far as things are concerned. But we are going to get to all of it tonight. So let's get started. We are live tonight on Rumble, on Twitter, and YouTube. And last but not least, Locals. And if you guys don't know what Locals is is kind of like everything people wanted Patreon to be, without all the crappy censorship and all the, kind of gayness overall. So over at potentiallycriminal.locals.com, you could join us over there just like on Patreon. You could sign up for free. You could be participating in the community there. You could post stuff. I post things. We can comment. You can comment. You can call me a tard. Whatever it is you want to do, you can do it over there. And it's a very fun time. We also, if you wish to support me over there, you can support me there because unlike YouTube, those guys don't take a big cut. You can also support me over there for $3 a month. You pay for 10 months, you get 2 months free. 2 months free, chat, too. With those 2 months free, or not with the 2 months free, with the $3 a month, you get access to the live shows. We do 2 live shows a week. Right now, we are doing live shows on Mondays at 8:30. And then we are doing also right after this show every Thursday. We do a live show. We get to hang out, talk about things that we couldn't get to here, things that just didn't fit, things that aren't appropriate for YouTube. And it's just generally a fun time. We get to hang out. It's a lot more of an intimate, smaller environment. So that's what we do over there, potentiallycriminal.locals.com. Use the promo code WHIPIT, and you get 1 month free access, no obligation. And if you guys don't like it, I understand, but I think you're going to love it. So you guys could join us over there. I also forgot to mention, because it's not up yet, but it's going up right now, is the live chat we do during the show here. And we do a live chat over on Locals, open to everybody. And with that chat, it allows you to go in there and post things, build towers, do all kinds of stuff that YouTube may not let you do. But I can see it. It's up. It's always a fun time. If you guys say things that I can watch or do, I definitely will look at them. And if it's something I can comment on or share, I probably will share it with everybody. But that's over in the live chat. If it's there, it's up now, you guys. So thank you all for taking a look at it. We got some things here already. BCM says, come on, Sean, waddle into that chair. I'm sorry. 2.0 was asked me to help her with something and was taking a little longer than anticipated. So, but I'm here now, guys. I'm here. We are going to get this rolling. We are going to land the plane as far as things are concerned. So I just wanted to let you know that. So my apologies. It's entirely on me. We didn't really plan it probably the best. So we'll work on that. I also forgot to mention, guys, on Locals, we also do cool things like last Saturday when Mr. Medicare was live, we hung out and watched him. There's not always a lot to comment about, but he was having a very big MAGA episode, and it was a lot of fun. Also, what we will do on there is Formula One. So if you happen to be a Formula One fan, they are in Japan this week. So we'll be covering the Japanese Grand Prix, and we'll see how that goes. Fingers crossed for Ferrari. Like, let's not fuck it up this time. Come on, guys. Probably not going to happen. But if you want to see me lament about Ferrari, that's what happened there. And yes, I am a Ferrari fan. So, all right. So, you guys are like, chat is on fire tonight already. Shredder's like, let's go. Yes, let's go. Will Kick have to remove their sponsor on the cars this weekend? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I do not know the answer to that. It's a good question. There's no hope for them. No hope for Ferrari. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me at all. Squizgar, yes, he says, remember to receive gifted subs, you need to turn off your ad blockers and be able to do so in your settings. Yes, that's correct, chat. You need to have it set up for that. And we are, we got some things already. Self-Defeated says, use of a mix of turkey and ham in the sandwich, Sean. Yeah, I like turkey, but I do not like ham. I mean, that might help, but like it's just like I can eat ham like Christmas time. I eat ham. It's not a big deal, but it's just like ham is just not my favorite meat. Like I love pork, like bacon, all those different things, but just ham is just not my thing. Ham is not my jam. B Prince for $5 says Shalom, fellow Greens. Please remember that we must bring in more Greys in order to preserve green society. P.S. Remember the 7 billion. And then real quick here, guys, from Shredder, gifting 5 subs. They're gifting 5 more, 10 total. Unhung Hero gifting 10 subs. And Squizgar dropping 20 subs. Oh, guys, it's that kind of night, huh? It's that kind of night. You know, they're just making it known. They're just telling the Greys out there.
See this? That means not welcome.
Means not welcome. It means not welcome. You see this? It means not welcome, Greys. So, hold on one second. Yes, chat, but that's you know, everything is about the Greens now. The Greys, you have nowhere to go. Even Clyde. Clyde has no love for the Greys anymore. Clyde has no love for the Greys anymore. And it's just sad because he really doesn't. And if you guys didn't know, I mean, and I hate to break it to the Greys out there, but Clyde just doesn't care anymore for you. You know, he's making his sandwiches and it's a green deli. Clyde coin only. So you guys have been warned. You guys have been warned. You are not welcome. You are not welcome. And Unhung Hero also just remind you, this is a green stream. Get to stepping. Get to stepping. Vodka Blood says, how many months now with Sandwich Man? It's been here for 16 months for the support. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it. You know, guys, like I said, when those numbers get into double digits, thank you. But I also know for those of you out there who can't do it, I know you're out there, and I appreciate every single one of you when I see your names popping up in chat all the time, month after month after month. And, you know, now I could say year after year. What's that? Oh, the goal ended already? No, the goal. Oh, it ended already? Oh, it's because I know why it ended already. Because I started it like an hour ago, and now, okay, I get why it happened. There we go. New goal, chat. New goal. No, I didn't boomer the time. I gave it an hour. I thought it would start then. I didn't know you could like pre-show goals. So my apologies there. But all of you out there, you guys have been showing up. You guys know who you are. You guys know who you are. Ben says, furry fan. I mean, Ferrari fan. Well, yeah, I'm a Ferrari fan, but Clyde is not a furry. Clyde's a good boy. And we've had Clyde with a hat on, so it's okay. Kick was testing a Wagyu beef steak livery. Oh, wow. That'd be funny. Why would Kick do that? Well, Oh, Robert's saying you don't need to turn off the ad blockers. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And guys, we try to give people about, you know, like 10 or so minutes to get in here and get up here on time. So, Ferrari's new model, the Lamborghini. Yes. And then Shredder. 07. Just 07 in the chat. With 5 more subs. Let's go, chat. Let's fucking go. We got all kinds of shit to talk about tonight. We got people going buck wild out there. I'm the pickiest fat man. At times I can be. At times I can be. Oh. Times I can be. But guys, they're out there doing their part to make this a green chat. Are you doing your part? Question you got to ask yourself. When your grandkid's sitting on your lap saying, Papa, what did you do for the fat man's chat? And you're going to say, I just build N-word towers. You know, you're not going to feel fulfilled when you do that. You're not going to feel fulfilled. Oh. Jordan saying 2.0 is like, stop saying racist stuff on the internet. Oh. All right, you guys. All right. Oh. All right. Okay. Oh, guys, when you got, geez, you guys are just, okay. We got to get these all done first. Unhung Hero for $5 says green power. That's right. That's right, chat. You got to feel it in your heart, and you're just going to share it with everybody. Going to share it with everybody. Barton Bella gifting 5 subs. Let's go, Bella. Thank you. Erica says it's so hard to give you my money. And I didn't, guys, I'm sorry. I thought I made it the teal chat, like the blue chats. I always like try to keep it just blue. I don't like being people where it's like, I need 50 subs or I need 50 chats or I'm going to show something. It's like, no, I just want you guys to do it because you want to do it. Vodka Blood gifted 10 subs. 10 subs. And then Amateur Iconoclast for 1, but that one just sitting there, he picked out that one gray and was just like, pow, picking them off. I respect that. I respect the hunt. I respect singling them out versus carpet bombing. They both have their uses. They both have their tactics. So thank you guys for your support and your generosity. All of you who have sent in memberships. Debbie O jumping in too. She's like, I'm getting in on the Donnybrook too. She's coming in hot with 5 more subs. Just coming after everybody. Just coming in, laying down the hate. Thank you, chat. Thank you. All right. I am Bob. Well, thank you, Bob, for being here. It says I am. Oh, hail chat. Yes, with your dragon lizard thingy. I don't know. Whatever they are. I just know on YouTube people do the videos where they peel all the skin off and the dragon just sits there and it's like, yes. So they must like it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Let's get started. Oh. Well, here, hold on. All right, here we go, guys. Here we go. Oh, Brendan. Hello. Hi, Brendan. Thank you. What is that? Is that like a slug? Okay, I don't know. Something on the moon, maybe. But thank you for being here. Thank you. All right, guys. So let's get started. I mean, the biggest thing that's out there, and you know what it is. You guys know what I'm going to get to here. Is it's the thing that's rocked this nation. It's drastic. It's very severe now. And it's a massive, massive problem. I don't know if America is going to recover from this. I can't believe it happened this week. But it did. It happened, and we're going to have to deal with it. And guys, here you go. Here's what happened. Buc-ees is in a trademark lawsuit. For trademark infringement and copyright infringement. They are suing a Missouri travel stop called Buc-ees, which I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this is well, we'll see. I mean, like it's very much like Coming to America, McDowell's. But this is actual lawsuit, chat. I didn't have a chance to go over it. It's a little longer than could be for a segment. It might be its own show coming up. But we will take a look at that this weekend, probably tomorrow night or Saturday. We are going to go over the Carl Jobst, Billy Mitchell lawsuit because the judge out of Australia actually kind of went through everything. And if you guys don't know, Carl lost. And it seems like Carl kind of fucking lied to everybody. Just a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. He lied a lot about what it was all about. So we'll get to that, but that requires its own show. But yes, the TLDR is Carl lost, and Carl defamed the shit out of Billy. So, and the person you think is an absolute piece of shit was right, but he's still a piece of shit. Anyways, getting back to this, this is a lawsuit that's being waged. Buc-ees is suing a Missouri-based travel stop, and they're claiming they're infringing on their trade. They're infringing on the marks. So, I wasn't aware of this, but oh god, I think it was Ag sent this to me. Like, I think other people did too. So Buc-ees filed a lawsuit in the United States federal court, and that's because when you're dealing with trademarks and copyrights, you're going to go to federal court. Now, there might be state level, trade issues, but when you're doing it for, specific things, you go to there. So, the lawsuit says that a company, Home Away from Home Dog Training, opened a Buc-ees travel stop in Marshfield. Now, here's the thing. It's a dog training company. So if they had just had a dog training company called Buc-ees, that probably wouldn't be an issue because there's no brand confusion there. If it was just this, nobody would give a crap. Nobody would care at this point because you would never be confused with saying, hey, is this the same organization? Are we stealing people away? You wouldn't have to worry about that. But this is a little different because now they're infringing on, and they're pushing into the territory. You go from here, and they're talking about they sell food, drinks. Obviously, they have pet products. Okay, well, yeah, that's good. There's some differential, but I'm assuming Buc-ees, because I don't think we have one in Ohio yet. We're supposed to. One day we might. I don't know. But they sold food, drinks, pet products, and more. They also do EV charging and play areas. Okay, I'm assuming Buc-ees does all those things too. So the company purposefully used and promoted the Buc-ees name in a way that violates Buc-ees trademark. The suit claims the name, the curving word style, and cartoon mascot, which uses a brown animal with a red tongue on a yellow circle, all mimic important aspects of Buc-ees trademarks. And now here's the thing, guys. When you're trying to show somebody's ripping you off, you can't just say, oh, well, they're both animals. Okay, well, that's not going to be protected. Well, they're both animals that are brown. That's not protected. They're both animals that are brown and they have a red tongue. That's still how many brown animals out there have red tongues if you're drawing cartoons? All of them. But now you're going to do it's a brown animal with a red tongue with a yellow circle on it. And also the way you curve the words. So not only is it that, but the way you title your business. So here you go. This is lifted out of the lawsuit. This is actually the reason why I use this local news is they did this, and it's great to follow along. You have Buc-ees and you have Buc-ees. Now, obviously, is this a lot more bent and has a lot more displacement out of it than the Buc-ees does? Sure. But notice, it's done kind of like in a similar way. Remember, they didn't do it exactly, but they did kind of like close enough. And speaking of Buc-ees, come here, Bubba. We got our Buc-ees specialist with us. Anyway, chat. But yes, you can see there's a bit of a similarity there. It's not outright, but that's how this works. And then you have this. This is the Buc-ees logo done two different ways that they do their logo. And is this clearly the Buc-ees logo? No, it's not. But the Buc-ees logo is still pretty renowned. I mean, people know what it is. If you go on Twitter, it's memes. It's pretty much out there. I know what it looks like, and I've never been to a Buc-ees. At first when I kept on seeing this shit, I was like, what is this thing? I don't know anything about it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about with the Buc-ees logo, here's the Buc-ees logo. So it's not exactly the same thing. You could say, oh, look, there's the dogs driving a car. But certainly you're kind of getting at the same thing Buc-ees was doing. You're mimicking the success. And obviously, yes, flattery is the, imitation is the biggest form of flattery. But that's a problem. They don't have a patent on yellow circles, but they have a trademark on this. They have a copyright. They did file to protect their stuff. And real quick, we're going to give Clyde an ASMR. So it's not exactly like the end of the world here, but this is a problem. Like, this is not as simple as things here. I think Buc-ees has a bit of a case, at least. Lawyers for Buc-ees also cite about the business posted on Buc-ees.com saying that Buc-ees was the inspiration for their business, which is a problem. You know, you can independently come up with something, and that helps a lot. But when you're saying, you know, we kind of came from there, it does create an issue, because ultimately Buc-ees is worried because this indicates to the public that they might be connected or sponsored by Buc-ees. And that's something they don't want. Because let's say Buc-ees starts selling food that gives people salmonella. They don't want to be associated with that or have any people associated with that. Now, would you do that? No, like most of you aren't retarded, but there are retarded people who would think that this is somehow together. So yes, I mean, they intentionally did this. It's willful. Now, is it malicious? I don't think so, but that's going to be an issue, because when you get to trademark and copyright issues, those are questions of law. So the court decides those, and a jury decides the damages. So they're seeking an order to block Buc-ees from using the logos. And yeah, the owner of Buc-ees says they're assisting if it's in their best interest to move forward. You know, this is a bit of an issue here. Now, I do think it's interesting where they're like, being sued is a delightful addition to the business experience that none of my mentors got me ready for. I don't see how you could set up this business called Buc-ees and not think Buc-ees was going to sue your ass. I find this very hard to believe, that there's no way you thought Buc-ees was not going to sue you. This is a bit ridiculous, a bit redonkulastic. I think this is a bit stupid here. Right, I'm going to set you down, Bubba. Okay? Are you okay, Bubba Bear? I'm going to set you down. You're going to have to go find 2.0. I can't run the computer and you at the same time. Good boy. So that's the issue here. Like, it's like receiving a surprise gift you never knew you wanted. Did you really, though? Did you really think this was going to happen? You could go knock on the devil's door and he wasn't going to answer? Like, come on now. Yes, this unwanted extreme team building gift. That's a great way to look at a fucking lawsuit. I will give them credit. It involves stakes that are high and trust falls that involve legal documents and not people. Okay. I'll give you credit. That is hilarious. But if the rest of this is cringe, I want them to lose. And it says, although I prefer my business challenges to come with a side of coffee rather than the court summons. Okay, I already hope they lose. This is part of the entrepreneur game. Well, no, part of the entrepreneur game is making sure you're not going to infringe. My legal team believes we are not infringing on trademarks, and I can see the argument to make, but I think Buc-ees probably has a good argument just looking at it on its face. The remarks from a legal team that specializes in trademarks also believe that I can win if I went to trial, but it may not be worth the fight. Beavers are cunning creatures. Very rare does a small dog go into a fight with a big beaver and come out on top. That's funny. Also, if he had a legal team, I wonder if there's a better legal team than Destiny's legal team. And these guys hopefully actually exist. So if you guys weren't aware of Buc-ees, they were founded in Texas in 1982. And there are 51 Buc-ees all across the South. And into, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Colorado, and Tejas. And it's not the first time Buc-ees has been in a trademark infringement lawsuit. They were another gas station was sued by them previously. And here's the other, and they had a similar case, and you guys can see here, this is a similar thing for them. Buc-ees sued. And here they say it's too similar to the beaver. So they're claiming that they're suing a place called Superfuel, saying its dog logo is too similar. So what happened here? Well, this is the Superfuels thing. And you're like, okay, is this Buc-ees? No, but it's like it's not the same font and everything. I don't think this one is. I don't like this one clearly isn't to me, but whatever. And like I don't see how you think that's Buc-ees. It's clearly not. It's not at all like Buc-ees. Super fuels. Da da da. Yeah, tacos 24/7. Who, buddy? God, I can go be fat in Texas. What does that sign say on the other side? So, all right, chat. So that is where we are with that. Do I think that's not even close. And Maddie says, okay, that's excessive. Yeah, beaver or taco. Yeah. Philip says Super Fuels is a discount Buc-ees, though. Well, I get it, but I think that one's a stretch. Like that one's not even close. That one's not even a close thing. And Scumbagovich says, yeah, that's not even nearly close. I agree. It's not even close at all. The Buc-ees is not the redneck 7-Eleven. It's super expensive. I have heard that. Like everything's expensive there, and like everything at Buc-ees is expensive. But maybe at some point I'll go to one. I have not been there before. So maybe one day, chat, one day. So, real quick here, Brimstone saying Barkeys would be fine. Yes, it would have. That would have been 100% fine. Marlene says Barkeys has a kids mini city. It sounds interesting. And I Hate Yankees says, I love beaver nuggets. And I don't know if that's a food they sell, but okay. That's an interesting way to phrase it. Is that just like chicken nuggies, or is that like their chocolate pretzels or something? Jefferson Post says like Apple computers and Apple records till iTunes. Yes. Yep. That's a very good example. Okay, that's very true. Shredder says he can't run the show if we keep gifting subs. That's one way to look at it. And Shredder says chat is doing their part. They are. You guys are stepping up. And KRM says keep stepping, Grays. Yes. And Mamasaurus Rex says I use my cashback credit card and pay for my memberships with the bank's money. Well, there you go. Make those Zionist bankers pay for my memberships. Ha 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 ha. Suffer, Zionist, suffer. Okay. But yes, that is the first story in the night, chat. It's something out there you guys need to be prepared for. We might look at the lawsuit itself, but yeah, the first one I think has some merit. The second one is completely garbage. So we'll see what happens. Deadeye saying their nuggets suck. The pecan pralines. You guys are like, it's pecans. No, they're pecans. The pecan pralines, on the other hand, are good. They're giant corn pops. Okay. They're puffed corn covered in caramel. Oh, okay. And she says, okay, so you go into Buc-ees, use the bathroom, you come out spending $80. All right. Kat says they're good. I'll take you guys' word for it, but never had them. Tech guy says, reset the days since the anti-Israel comment from Sean Counter. Can I go over to the Dodge versus Ford lawsuit? I don't know what that is. I didn't know there was a Dodge and Ford lawsuit. So you're going to have to send me a link to that because I don't know what you're talking about. Hold on. Sorry, I heard 2.0 saying something. I wasn't sure if it was important or not. She's talking to Clyde. Tim Beatty saying, is there a Clyde... sorry, not Clyde Greer. No, he will never be a Greer. Is there a Russell Greer update? There is Russell Greer stuff to go over. Guys, I have an engagement. I have a thing I'm doing tomorrow night. I don't think it's going to be super long, but I have to be there at 5. I got to be downtown. It starts at 5. I got to be there at 5. It starts at 6. I'm hoping it's done by like 8, and then I can get back here because like I can be back by 9. And then if that's the case, we will do. I'm still torn. Is it going to be Russell Greer or Carl? We might do Russell Greer tomorrow night and then do Carl on Saturday. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. But that will be the thing. We'll definitely take a look at that. Tim is saying you can get arraigned at 8 p.m. on a Friday. No, it's not. It's not that. It's not that at all. I'm involved in a. I'm not. Nobody's like. There's no. Well, I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to spoil what I'm doing. I'll tell you about it tomorrow night. But it's something downtown tomorrow night. So, Mama Sora says that. Oh, you didn't know I was engaged? Yeah, 2.0. The 2.0. She is my betrothed. At some point, she will not be the future Mrs. Martin 2.0. She will just be Mrs. Martin 2.0. Then she can get rid of the F. So, yes, I have a fantasy train league meeting. Yes, it's underwear party at the gay 90s. Yes. Is it downtown like in your pants? Well, if your mom tells you she's going downtown, yes. But if your mom's staying home tomorrow night, that's not what it's about. Thank you, mediocrities. All right, guys. So, all right, moving on from there. And I wanted to say, I saw Cat Williams in here. Where are you at, Cat? I just saw you. Cat, but not Cat Williams. Not that Cat Williams. Guys, if you don't follow her over here on YouTube and on Twitter, you're missing out. She's been doing a great job covering a lot of the YSL stuff because Young Thug, his trial, his tribulations are over for now. We're going to get to something. But you like Yak Gotti, DeMonte Kendrick, he's still fighting with like getting out of jail. These other guys are still fighting their charges. It's a never-ending saga with this stuff. And she's been covering it. In fact, she covered this stuff today. And some events happened for Young Thug today that ended up wrapping up a new part of the saga for him. And we're going to get to this, but I just wanted to say hi to Kat and give her a shout out that's out there. But guys, if you remember Young Thug, he is the, but before we get too far, we have to start. Who is Young Thug? Guys, Young Thug he's a rapper. He is the head of the Young Slime Life gang. And if you guys remember, gang in quotation marks, this was the case that we saw that's been going on. It took over a year to do. They had prosecuted them, and I was on RICO. It was Fannie Willis's case down in Atlanta. And they had accused him and the other members of the YSL gang of being a gang, and they had committed murders, drug dealing, racketeering, extortion, all the other organized crime things that are out there. And it took them 6 months to pick a jury. And this is also the case, if you remember, chat, where some of the jurors got jailed or held in contempt. One of the defense attorneys during jury selection got arrested. There was an alleged drug deal that happened in the middle of court. All kinds of things happened in this case. And then we finally got to the actual trial. And this is the trial with Judge Glanville, and where, Attorney Brian Steele, Young Thug's attorney, ended up calling them out for having an off-the-record ex parte meeting without the defense being present. Got to the point where he was held in contempt and taunted the judge. Well, didn't taunt the judge, but dared the judge to jail him. And did such a gangster move, he has to be jailed right next to Young Thug, his client, so he could work on his case with him. Now, all of that kind of blew over. The trial kind of imploded. Judge Glanville finally ended up having to realize, I can't, be a tyrant from the bench. Gracefully left after multiple issues. They went through a couple of different judges till they got to the current judge they're dealing with. And the case, we were up to day 180 of the actual trial, but we were, almost like 9 months in, 11 months in at that point. And we only had 180 days of trial yet. So if you guys remember, Young Thug actually ended up entering a plea to a couple of counts, being involved in certain activities, certain gun-related things. He was given probation. A couple of the members of the YSL crew pled out right before him, and they got a couple-year prison sentences. And then if you guys remember, Yak Gotti was one of the last ones, along with Shannon Stillwell. And Yak Gotti actually, I was like, Yak Gotti? Yeah, it was Yak Gotti. Got acquitted of everything. So nobody's actually ever been convicted for the murder that underpins the entire RICO case, which is rather hilarious. Because it just shows you how disgusting and corrupt Fani Willis and her crew were down in Georgia. And we also saw it through the Trump case. But it was a preview of how the Trump case would run, because this was Fani Willis's A team. So with all that being said, Young Thug was put on probation, and basically some of his rules were he had to stay out of the Atlanta metropolitan area, which is almost like a quarter of Georgia, 25% of Georgia. He cannot be in. He's not allowed to be there without permission. Well, so Thug is doing his thing, making videos. He's back out there rapping, doing all his stuff. And from here, he made some comments, and the prosecution filed a motion to revoke his probation. And you're going to see like, oh, this sounds pretty serious. It's not really that serious. Not really that serious. Because you're going to listen to it. You're like, oh, what did he do? Well, let's get to this, chat. So this got filed on the 2nd. So this just happened yesterday. This came out. And, spoiler, we already have a resolution. So it's for Judge Paige Whitaker. And this is in the Superior Court of Fulton County in the state of Georgia. So this is where Atlanta is. If you didn't know, chat, that's what we're dealing with. So there we go. So it's a state of Georgia versus Jeffrey Williams. That is Young Thug. That's a government name. That's his government name. So as now comes the state of Georgia, through into the undersigned, they want to immediately revoke the probation of Young Thug. They say he's demonstrated a blatant disregard for the law, the safety of witnesses, and the integrity of judicial proceedings. Well, this sounds really serious. This sounds serious. And they submit that his continued presence in the community under supervision presents a clear and present danger to public safety and undermines the rule of law. You're like, wow, that sounds serious. What did he do? What did he do? So they talk about that, yes, on October 31st, 2024, Young Thug was sentenced to probation with conditions that included no contact with the victim and the victim's family. They say the defendant pled guilty and the conditions of probation were imposed pursuant to Georgia law, which authorized courts to establish and enforce conditions necessary to protect the public and uphold the administration of justice. And that's true, chat. The courts are allowed to set terms of probation. They might set standard terms, but they will also set, at times, specialized terms out there to make sure that their orders are followed. Judges have the unique ability, and this is pretty much in every state. They have an innate, well, I wouldn't say innate, but they have an ability to shape what they need to do for you. And they could specialize things, and they could tailor it to suit just you and only you forever. It will never be applied to anyone else. This is one of the times where they can do it. Now, they can't restrict so many things. There are limits to what they can do, but judges can be very creative with their punishments and their terms. So what has he done? What has he done? We'll move on here. So escalating threats and witness intimidation. So they talk about this woman, investigator Marissa Viverito. Now, Melissa Viverito was the lead gang detective that Fulton County employed. And she is the one who testified. And when you saw her, you're like, how is this chick a gang investigator? Because it was some chick with, she was just not at all what I expected a gang investigator to look like. And she didn't seem like it. It's also suspicion she stole things from Young Thug, among other things out there. But when you guys know who Marissa Viverito is, at first when you see this, you see this picture and you're like, oh, wow, this looks pretty presentable. Here she is. This is her. That looks presentable. She's a police officer and an investigator. And then you see she's just when you hear her talk, she's just some chick with huge knockers and doesn't know what the hell she's doing and likely stole from Young Thug. So she is currently testifying in a multi-defendant gang murder preliminary hearing, which remains ongoing and is set to reconvene April 7th. During this hearing, the court ordered that witnesses not be shown on television while testifying. Despite this order, a known blogger violated the court's directive by posting on social media, "She doesn't want to be shown on screen? Well, here she is," along with a photograph of investigator Viverito. Okay, so right now, Thug didn't do this. Like, okay, so what? So what? Like, what happened here? Like, I don't, like, and now this is where we get to what Thug is alleged to have done. So on April 1st, Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, amplified this act by reposting the image with the caption, "Marissa Viverito is the biggest liar in the DA's office." Okay. So how is this actually an escalating threat? Because remember, that's what we're talking about. Escalating threats and intimidation. She's not trustworthy, and she wasn't. When she testified in the Young Thug trial for the 6 YSL guys, she was a fucking dumpster fire. She's not credible at all. And like I said, she's suspected of fucking stealing from Thug. She stole some of his shit because it's gone and it's not accounted for. So what is this meant to be exactly? So, yeah, so she said she's a liar. Okay, so what? Well, anyways, this amassed over 2 million views with thousands of comments and retweets. Many have included direct threats to her and her family. Okay, Thug didn't do that. Other people threatened her. Go after those people. So they say as a direct consequence of these posts, her home address and her parents' address were publicly posted, exposing them to grave danger. Okay, so remember, nobody took her picture. There was already an existing picture of her out there and somebody said she's here. So nobody violated the rules. Nobody violated the rules. The witnesses are not to be shown on television. Okay, they weren't shown on television. Somebody reported that she was there and they used a picture that existed. Like, nobody's broken the law yet. No one's done anything illegal yet or improper. Somebody else said if the hate is really real, then pull up on her mama crib. Okay, with a photograph of her mom's house. Hours later, an additional post emerged threatening the assassination of District Attorney Fani Willis. I'm sure that was like, yes, it's like, yes, the only, Trump's just tweeting that out from his Truth Social. So they talk about the escalation from targeting a testifying witness to making a direct threat against the elected district attorney is a grave and unprecedented attack. He didn't do any of this. He didn't do this. He didn't do it. How is this his problem? How is any of this Jeffrey Williams' problem? None of it is. None of it is in the slightest bit. Okay, but they say this is not an isolated incident. It is part of a calculated campaign of harassment, intimidation, and misinformation designed to undermine the legal process. Oh no! Oh no! Social media has been used as a tool to manipulate public perception, spread misinformation, and instill fear. Oh, so it's kind of like the government. We learned it from you, government. These efforts have also included attempts to exploit the court's perceived stance of disdain towards the state by referring to Your Honor as YSL Whitaker. Now, guys, if you didn't know, when you have names in YSL, your name is YSL something. So they're trying to say, like, oh, they're gassing the judge up by saying one of us, one of us, one of us. They're just upset. Your Honor, they're just more popular than us. No. Fucking crybabies. These are actual people who have law degrees and get paid a lot of fucking money. This is sad. This is sad. So they say the ongoing manipulation of public perception is intended to obstruct justice. It is. Ooh. Silence witnesses. Ooh. And threaten those who enforce the law. Ooh. Spooky. So they point out that they want a basis for the revocation. So under Georgia law, the court may revoke it when they engage in new criminal conduct or they threaten public safety. So his continued association with individuals actively involved in witness intimidation Well, wait, how is he actively involved? He posted something on Insta and people fucking ran with it. How is he involved with these people? You haven't shown that. These actions mirror the established tactics of criminal organizations, like the government. I'm just saying. As defined under the Georgia Code, which are designed to instill fear, silence witnesses, interfere with judicial proceedings. As a direct consequence of these actions, law enforcement resources have been required to provide security. Womp, womp, womp. That's why you get a Fanny. You got problems, girl? Viverito, you're a gang investigator, right? Like, oh no, the gang members are mad at me. Isn't that why you got a fucking gun? Like, tool up, girlfriend. You got this. I'm just saying, handle your fucking business. Handle your business. Show these guys you ain't fucking around. So this is, Georgia courts have consistently upheld the revocation of probation for conduct that endangers witnesses, obstructs justice, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it's so scary. Scary black man is what they're arguing right now. The failure to act decisively will only encourage further attempts to threaten, harass, intimidate those involved in this case. The state asserts that not addressing this matter directly with the defendant would fail to serve as an adequate deterrent, given the gravity and escalating nature of the threats. Furthermore, as both the defendant and court acknowledge in his plea, the defendant wields significant influence over people worldwide, amplifying the impact of his actions. So what do they want? They want to revoke this guy's probation. They want him in custody. They want to throw him in fucking irons into a jail. His probation should be immediately revoked to prevent further harm. And the state urges the court to take swift and decisive action by revoking the probation, remanding him to custody without delay. So, signed by Fannie fucking Willis herself. Fannie Willis. Funny. Yeah, she's funny. She's a funny-looking woman. Adam Abate, who is one of the people involved in the Trump cases. Also, apparently, we learned from the Atlanta attorneys, Adam Abate got called out by the 11th Circuit for lying to people in a fucking murder trial. Like, these people are shitbags. Like, this is also the executive district attorney. Simone Hilton, one of the other shitbags during the YSL trial. Notice, though, prosecutor Love, Adrian Love, is not on this list. She's missing. So, at least somebody's not there. So, now this is, signed by Fannie. So, what are the exhibits? So, the exhibit here. The exhibits. And this is where you're like, so what the fuck is the thing here? So this is infamous Sylvia. Guys, I've been on with her a couple of times on some other channels, I think with Nick Starro. Infamous Sylvia has been covering everything that's going on down there. She is down in Atlanta, and she's been covering all this stuff. She's been in court multiple times. They know who she is. So, she tweeted out about it. She says, Viverito's testimony footage, the footage everyone's been waiting for. So notice that. And this is from April 1st. Okay. And it got put up there. And this is they blocked out her face because it's not like you can't go find it. Yes. All right. So Young Thug, and this is Jeffrey Williams, this Young Thug, biggest liar in the DA's office. Aw. And he's got 363,000 impressions, 9.5K likes, 263 comments. Now, what is this here? So we have other comments, and you notice these boomers screw this all up. They screwed this all up. But they have Young Thug retweeting from Thugger Daily, and Thugger Daily guys did a great job covering the trial as it went, yanking docs and putting them up there. Did a really, really good job. And it says, all my homies hate Viverito. And Young Thug said, yeah, I hate her too. He's allowed to hate her. It's free fucking speech. You're allowed to hate the police. There are other people now. People are putting this up. Sean Chanel putting this up on I think it's on freaking this is Instagram or Facebook. People are putting it up. Actually, this is Insta. So they talk about the hate is really real, then pull up to her mama crib. So this is the house. Looks like it's down in La Floride. we also know as Florida. $525,000. That's not bad. Well, actually, hold on. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,100 square feet. That's pretty good. That's pretty average for Florida. I bet that's a nice layout. It's probably, I've probably been in a couple. If you've been in Florida, you've probably been in houses with this layout because like a bunch of houses like that. Exhibit B. Somebody named Daredevil Season 4, Snake Fang, says, I will personally make sure Fannie Willis is assassinated. Okay, so this is not Jeffrey Williams doing it. It's not Thug. Where is this from? Is this tied to the post? Notice they haven't done anything to show where this is, where you could find this post. They just show the post here, and I think that's a problem. So they then include, you know, as far as his transcript of what he's done here. So he says, I understand what I could do to the mind of people. Oh no, it's like mind control, chat. So anyways, he's saying that, you know, here he is. He says, you know, he says that I really understand I have power. I'm a very powerful man. So they talk about the worldwide impact, though. When the worldwide impact's going, the court's talking. You know, it's worldwide, especially young people. You know, how much of an impact you have on people. Yeah, so the judge is saying that, not him. And they included that page. So they really didn't include the right things. It's like, oh no, the prosecutors lied. The prosecutors lied, guys. Oh no. Oh no. So from here, Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, not Brian Williams, not the NBC reporter. Brian Steele fired out a response within a day. And I don't know how Brian Steele could do this. This guy is a monster. This is the attorney who volunteered to go to jail and sit with Young Thug. This guy runs triathlons and shit. I don't know how this guy can belt out something like this so fast. I know he's got a law office with people, but damn, this man works hard and works really well. Like I said, watching the Young Thug trial, you know, just showed you how you need to do stuff. But Steele is a badass. Steele is a badass. So he fired, it's Mr. Williams, not even the defendants. And I like this, Mr. Williams' response to the state's motion. So he says on April 2nd at 7:48 p.m., the state filed the motion to revoke the probation. But look at this. Not even, barely. Like, this was filed at almost 8 p.m. on April 2nd. By 10:30, which means probably by 10 o'clock, this was done. You know, not even like 14 hours later, this guy belted out this. So he's pointing out that the prosecution must place in writing, pursuant to the Due Process Clause of the United States Constitution, the specific act or acts that Mr. Williams supposedly committed. And they say, as shown below, it fails to allege any conduct by Mr. Williams that would rise to a probationary sentence to violate it. And they said, even if we take it in the light most favorable to the prosecution, there's nothing here that'll do it. And they're showing a couple of other cases here where they're talking about the Honorable Court of Appeals in Georgia, you know, reversed the trial court's determination that a guy violated his probation since there was no evidence to support the findings. And they're pointing out that the state must allege conduct which are proven by a preponderance of the evidence. And that's important, chat, because you don't have beyond a reasonable doubt. It's a preponderance of the evidence in some situations. Some states do that. It's not a beyond a reasonable doubt standard. Now, it depends where you live. They say, as discussed below, taken in light most favorable, he did not violate any term of probation. And they want this to be dismissed with prejudice. So the material allegations are that, once again, they talk about the blogger getting everything posted. You know, there was no image shown of this. You know, there was no image shown of her testifying, and this allegation can't support the revocation. Yeah, there's nothing here. He didn't do it. They do say he amplified the blogger's act, by reposting the image. And it says, he points out first, there's no suggestion that Young Thug knew of the court order not to show Viverito on television while testifying. And he points it out, you can't violate an order unless you know about it. And second, the allegation asserts that he reposted an image and wrote a caption. This allegation, doesn't match with what's there. And it doesn't violate the court order or his terms of probation. None of this is prohibited. He's got a free speech right. Third, there's no violation of probation by reposting an image on social media and implying that the cops are liars. And he says, additionally, if a hearing is needed, there will be no competent evidence that he was the person to repost any image or write any caption as alleged in the motion to revoke. Because he could say, this was my PR people. They have no proof he did this. They have no proof he did this. There's no proof he's done anything. So, there's no proof he's done anything. So they assert the post went viral. An unknown persons commented on it, which threatened the detective and Fannie Willis. So they point out here, Mr. Williams, the undersigned counsel Brian Steele, and his other attorney, Keith Young, and all moral persons do not condone threatening another without justification. Notice they throw that in there. This is the good stuff. This is good attorney work right here. When you include this stuff, it's so civil and smooth. You can hear Brian Steele saying this. He's very, very smooth on it. It says, however, these comments on social media by unknown persons cannot be attributed to Young Thug. They then list these direct threats, but they did not allege any act attributed to Young Thug is a violation of this. And they say the prosecution speciously, that's a $10 word, chat, speciously, alleges that this is a calculated campaign of intimidation, harassment. And they say these are baseless assertions. And they point out the remainder of the argument is without any substance to allege an illegal or unlawful act committed by Thug. So they say Thug is entitled to due process, and he is. He is entitled to due process. You can't revoke his probation unless he admits the violations or the evidence produced at a hearing that establishes by preponderance of the evidence the violations alleged. So there's two ways, guys, and this is true. When you have a probation violation, you can admit to the violation. And normally you do, because a lot of times it's pretty obvious things like you didn't show up to court, you didn't show up for your probation, appointments, or you pissed hot. Now, we can challenge the pissing hot, but if you didn't show up like hot, like what evidence can we argue? There's times where you can say, oh, look, hey, and I've had this before, my client brings in they give me the slip. Their probation officer gave them, and it said show up March 5th. And apparently it was actually scheduled for March 4th. Like, that happens once in a while, and I can say, Judge, look, I have it. It's signed by the fucking PO. And we're like, oh, shit, our bad. We take care of it. I've been able to take care of violations. They get filed, and then I go see the prosecutor and say, look, we need to fix this. And we could avoid the court hearing. Sometimes you can do that. Get the guy back out. Get him working. But other times, they fucked up and you got to violate. You got to admit. But those are the two ways. You either get convicted of the violation or found to have violated, or you admit to the violation. They say in the case at bar in the light most favorable, Mr. Williams can't admit to all the allegations alleged and still not have violated any term. So even he's saying basically this is like the summary judgment motion, chat. It's a failure to dismiss the claim, upon which relief can be granted. You're failing to, you failed to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. God, I just stroke victim that out. Blah. Brian's still saying, even if we admit to everything, even if I admit to all of this, it's still not a violation. So therefore, they asked the court to deny this without a hearing, which is, nice, because in Ohio, that's not something that happens. I've never heard of that happening where I could file a pre-hearing motion to get it dismissed. I'm not sure if I can. I should ask some of the other attorneys I know. Can you do this? Because I'm not aware of it happening anywhere. And I've been in a bunch of different courts. And they say if a hearing is needed, Mr. Williams will be prepared. Signed by Brian Steele and by Keith Adams, his two attorneys, the guys who have been with him through thick and thin on this. So this, remember, chat, this was done on 10:30 in the morning. Okay. Well, we have a resolution to that today. And here's the resolution. Signed in order. And the order comes in at 3:55 p.m. on April 3rd. So not even, but the end of business that day, we get it. We get an answer. We get an answer already. So the order continuing the defendant on probation. Wow. You know what? The judge she's not even wasting time. Not even just order. Because here in Ohio, when things happen, you get judgment entry. You get order. Not, order to do blah, 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 blah. Usually they put in the bottom. This Judge Whitaker's like, fuck this. Oh, so it's short and sweet, chat. Look at this. So upon consideration of the motion to revoke probation, which alleged a violation of terms, and conditions for having posted a picture of a law enforcement officer with the caption, biggest liar in the DA's office, and the defendant's response, and having reviewed the terms and conditions, the court declines to revoke defendant's probation based on the violations asserted. Done. Signed, Paige Whitaker, Fulton County Superior Court. Now you see the footnote. So let's get to the footnote. She says, while the court does not find the cited social media posts rise to the level of violation of defendant's probation, it may be prudent for the defendant to exercise restraint regarding certain topics. And that's not his way of saying you're pushing it. That's his way of pointing out. That's the judge's way of pointing out, like, bruh, you should watch your ass because they're going to come after you again and again and again and again. Now, she's not saying he can't say this because he has a First Amendment right. But why are you putting yourself in that problem? Yes. Exercising a little restraint, a little forethought. That doesn't mean you have to be a bitch. You just have to be like, just think it through a little bit. So, that she put that quote in the ruling on purpose. Yes. Oh, yes, she did. This is entirely all the biggest liar in the DA's office. Yes. That was entirely meant to be there. So I love that she said social media post. Yes. And Tim says that's the right to remain silent. Yes. Now, some of you guys are saying her signature looks weird. That's a computer. I'm assuming that's probably printed out. Because if she signs like that, normally people like sign down below. Or she might have I don't think this is a stamp. Some judges have stamps for signatures. I know in courts where you have like a high volume of things, like in like a high-paced municipal court, I've seen, I know a place, one of the courts I was in front of before, where the bailiff would come in every morning from the judge's office, like in the chambers, where they had this like little tray of stamps and all the different things you could get done. And one of them was the judge's signature. And, they'd be like continued, bump, and they, ink that. Then they put it back. They throw it back in the stack of things and they grab the judge's signature stamp, ink it, and they like, you'd be on your way. So that shit happens all the time. Like, but I think this might have been, this actually looks like she signed it. This is weird because I can see that. That's a pen stroke. Yeah, there's the spots in here look like a pen. God, she signs fucking weird. Why don't you sign on the line, Judge? God damn. Did she use an auto pen? No, but she could if she wanted to. I don't see why not. This is a PDF signature. It could be a scan of a PDF signature too. You're right. It could be. So, but I have sometimes on motions I have a PDF signature. I have a scanned signature I throw in on motions too that are getting submitted at times. So, Axe says she's a woman, Sean. So, guys, that's the good news there. Young Thug kind of didn't even escape this. Just, flawless victory. And these guys looked like assholes while they did it. So that's a good thing there. Suffa Fanny. You guys get, and she got interviewed about this. She got interviewed by the news as soon as it happened. It's just like, Suffa Fanny, Suffa. So couldn't happen to a nicer lady. All right, guys. So where are we at here? So moving on from there, guys, we talked about this previously. Um, the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, he had cases in federal court. Why is this not working here? So, Eric Adams' case. Oh, I guess the other thing that's breaking: South Korea is upholding the impeachment of their president, President Yoon. So there you go, breaking legal story. But here's the actual important story, you guys. It's involving Eric Adams. His case, his federal case involving FARA violations, is getting dismissed with prejudice, meaning it's gone forever. And that's despite the Trump administration's request to allow for later prosecution. Remember, chat, this is the one where they wanted to dismiss without prejudice, and they stated, oh, well, we want him to testify, and we can use him in our behalf. Well, this is also the one where all the U.S. attorneys that work in the Southern District of New York quit because they're little bitches. So as it happened here, the federal judge dismissed the corruption charges. He dismissed them, Judge Dale Ho. So you could say his mom's a hoe. Dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning it can't be revived. Yes, it's gone forever. And this is one of the cases the Trump DOJ was involved in. And if you guys, this is something, if you guys are interested in this, I could take a look at it later. I did not get the chance to read through all of this today, but this is an opinion from the judge. And just like when all these I'm resisting people are out there, you know, he starts off by talking. And he goes on for 78 pages, which I ain't reading all this live. We ain't reading all this live, guys. But we go and go. And I'm not even halfway through it now. So we'll get to the conclusion and we'll let it sum up there. 78 pages of this guy. These people won't put judge, put the fries in the bag. No, not 78 pages of whining and crying. Just sign the goddamn motion and be on your goddamn way. Put the fries in the bag, Judge. God, these people. So anyways, he finishes up in a conclusion. The DOJ's position on this motion is as follows. The court should dismiss the prosecution because it is tainted with impropriety, which it does sound like happened. They fucked around with his proffer. And remember, guys, a proffer is where you go in and talk to the prosecutor and spill your guts. 2, it is detrimental to national security and immigration enforcement. And because he is helping with that now, because of Texas flooding New York City with illegals, Eric Adams is like, Eric Adams is now saying, afuera. He's now saying it too. And 3, it was a weak case to begin with, but the court should also allow the DOJ to bring the prosecution back at any time for any reason. Okay, yes, and those are kind of shitty things. If it's that bad, just not bring it back. They say, for the reasons above, the court cannot and will not authorize such a result. There may or may not be good reasons to drop the prosecution. But the reasons articulated by the DOJ, if taken at face value, are inconsistent with the decision to leave the charges in the indictment hanging like the proverbial sword of Damocles over the mayor. If dismissals to be granted, such dismissals should be with prejudice in order to vindicate the purposes of Rule 48A. Most importantly, the protection of a defendant's right to be free from harassment. It is clear from the submission to the parties alone, without resort to any other factual material submitted by the amici. And guys, remember, they had the former Solicitor of the United States, Paul Clement, the judge had him submit an amicus brief saying, what should I do here? And he says, and there are many reasons to be troubled by the DOJ's proffered rationales, supporting further dismissal with prejudice. Why is their proffered rationales? It was tainted. It's detrimental to what we're trying to do. We're trying to flare at people, Judge, and he's helping us. And it was a weak case. Okay. So he says, some undoubtedly will find today's decision unsatisfying, wondering why. If DOJ's ostensible reasons for dropping the case are so troubling, the court simply does not deny the motion to dismiss altogether. Well, listen to that. He's trying to soothe all the rears out there and the criers and the whiners. But as explained above, the court cannot order the DOJ to continue a prosecution, and it's aware of no authority that would empower it, as some have urged, to appoint an independent prosecutor. And it says, therefore, any decision by this court to deny the motion to dismiss would be futile at best, because the DOJ could, and by all indications unequivocally would, simply refuse to prosecute the case, inevitably resulting in a dismissal after 70 days for violating the right to a speedy trial. And that's one of the ways they could do it. They could refuse to grant him a speedy trial and get it dismissed. Or let's say the judge denied all of that and forced the DOJ to come into court. He can't do that. But let's say he did. You know what they would do? Here's what the prosecution could do. They could stand up and go, Your Honor, proceed to open your case. Thank you, Your Honor. We rest and sit down. And they presented no evidence. And that'd be another way as a big fuck you to the judge that we're not trying the case. But that has not happened. They say that route would simply postpone the finality to a date uncomfortably close to the June 24th mayoral primary. The public interest would not be served by that outcome. And it says, to be clear, the court emphasizes again it does not express any opinion as to the merits of the case or whether the prosecution should move forward. The court notes only it has no authority to require that it continue, and that the remedy for what some amici characterize as an abuse of power cannot be for the government to arrogate to itself more power than it may properly wield in our system of government. Wow, a federal judge who's saying this. Holy shit, I can't wait to see how he'd rule on a TRO case. I'm sure it wouldn't be different from this at all. I'm sure it wouldn't be different from that at all, would it, chat? They say, it is precisely in the most difficult cases that it's most critical to adhere to constitutional principles. Wow, if only the DC District Court agreed with you. Oh my God. It's like your bring your lips to Judge Boasberg's ears. And that includes recognizing the limits of this court's constitutional authority consistent with the separation of powers. God, I know that feeling. Yes. And I love it how he's like, it does not express any opinion as to the merits of the case. And it's like, homie, you just spent nearly 80 pages fucking crying about this. 80 pages. And he typed this himself. I doubt his clerks typed this one. I'm sure he did this one, sat at home and said, honey, look at this. Isn't it great? I'm showing the orange man. What's up? You did this all yourself, buddy. So, and they say because of the decision to discontinue a prosecution belongs primarily to a political branch of government, it is the public's judgment and not this court that truly matters. Okay. So he says in some, so here, I'm sorry, we need to discuss this. He says the public has an interest in the process through which prosecutors make decisions about whom to prosecute that a court can serve by inquiring into the reasons for a requested dismissal. While its interest cannot rise to the substantive ability to compel a prosecution, it does argue in favor of allowing a court to force prosecutors to publicly reveal their reasons for not proceeding before granting a requested dismissal. Bringing these decisions in the open may in turn lead to attempts by the public to influence these decisions through democratic channels. You mean kind of like when President Trump was getting prosecuted? Yeah, that's kind of like, wow. We have an answer for what this. We have a good example of this. 2024. It's like, wow. Wow, we have an answer for that. And it did happen. So for the reasons above, the dismissal is granted to the extent the indictment is dismissed. It's denied. It got recated without prejudice. And it's ordered that the indictment is dismissed with prejudice. Signed April 2nd by Dale Yamamzaho, Judge. That's right, chat. His mom is a hoe. And what is this here that I just got? Somebody, oh my fucking God, they actually fucking did it. Okay, we'll get to this in a second. Here. So there you go, guys. There you go. That's where that is right now. And we have Jefferson Post saying these judges start writing more and more like Destiny. Yes. Okay. And Hail to the Break says, I'm glad for tonight's stream. Doing some hard drive cloning so my PC is out, and that would be boring as fuck without this. Well, I'm glad that I'm helping you get through the equivalent of watching paint dry. I'm so glad there. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being here, Hail to the Break. Yes, and Ag says now the Trump DOJ can use this dismissal in their legal filings for the TC cases. Sure. So there we go, guys. That's done. That is done here. Breaking news. Apparently, this just got filed, and I'm going to bring this up. Oh my gosh. We're going to do this, chat. It's a Karen Reed thing. It's a Karen Reed exclusive, chat. Yes, I'm hearing it now from my producer. There is a breaking in the Karen Reed saga. There is a breaking news in the Karen Reed saga, chat. We're covering it. A live exclusive here on Potentially Criminal. I want you guys to, chat. It's breaking. I want you to go over this with me. Here we go. Here we go, chat. Oh. Karen Reed is going to the Supreme Court. Oh, my God, Becky. Look at her writ of certiorari. It's 149 pages. It is so big. It looks like one of those rap guys' writ of certiorari. So it's in the Supreme Court of the United States. I mean, honestly, I don't know. This is fucking retarded. This is guys. Yeah, it's a writ of certiorari to the United States Supreme Court. This is just. Oh, you guys are saying pretty fonts. These are Supreme Court style guidelines you have to follow. They can reject your appeal. You have to submit to their style guidelines. But this is just, yes, whether a final and unanimous but unannounced decision by a jury following trial that the prosecution failed to prove a charge offense constitutes an acquittal, precluding retrial under the double jeopardy clause. Remember, chat, Karen Reed had 3 counts. So she had murder, she had manslaughter involving an OVI, and then she had leaving the scene of an accident with an OVI causing a death. Now, from what we understand, they had already decided, apparently some jurors said not guilty count 1, not guilty count 3, but they were torn on the middle count 2, manslaughter. We don't know if that's true or not, but that's what we've heard. So ideally, if the verdicts had been announced for the other counts, as sometimes this happens, charges are then barred because an acquittal is an acquittal. And they say whether a defendant who produces credible evidence such a final, unanimous, and unannounced acquittal is entitled to a post-trial hearing to substantiate the fact of such an acquittal. So they've done this. They talk about the related proceedings. They talk about everything involved in this here. They have their table of authorities. And they get through all of this. But guys, this is just not going to be, this ain't going to work. The math ain't going to math. So they talk about the writ. They're saying the First Circuit violates the double jeopardy rule. They say that the First Circuit's ruling that Reed was not entitled to a post-trial inquiry is inconsistent with Supreme Court case law. They aren't going to get cert. Remember, chat, they need 4 justices to go, yes, I want to hear this. They're not going to get that. They're not going to get 4 justices. They're not going to get 4 justices. So, yeah. Unlike lawsuit, it says, what court is this in? The Supreme Court of the United States. So, Supreme Court of the United States. Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, Chief Justice John Roberts, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Sonia Sotomayor, the wisest of all the Latinas. May have heard of them. This is in the big leagues. They are in the big leagues. This was a waste of paper. This was a waste of money and time. I don't know why they did this. It's not going to win. They're not going to get anything out of this. Seller says they love their white space, man. That's how they do it. That's how they do this. They're just, and Tim, you're saying SCOTUS isn't going to hear an unripe appeal. Well, that's not even the issue. They're just not going to take this case. They're not going to take this case in a million years. It's really hard, guys. You are shooting lottery. You are shooting it's lottery ticket territory to get your case heard, sir. You know, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, oh, just not going to happen. Will the Supreme Court filings embarrass Judge Cannoni? No, I don't think so. Chinny says, her lawyers are pro bono, so who cares? Well, I think that's important because if they're pro bono at this point, they're now spending their own money because it takes money and time to do this. It's also time they could be preparing for trial. They could get other things being prepared for. I understand they have appellate attorneys working on this, but those guys could be working on other issues, getting other things ready. This is not a good use of their resources. I think this is a problem. Chugi is saying, does this mean the trial won't be on hold until the Supreme Court decides? No, I don't think their court's going to delay trial. I don't think Bev is going to delay trial. I don't think she's going to do that at all. I think she's going to move forward and just, we'll fucking deal with it. I don't know if she's going to postpone it. Are you saying, is this seafoam green? Yes. No, it's actually like a mint green. It's a mint green. Iconoclast says they let Branca appear before the court. Anything is possible. I mean, I will say, guys, remember I brought this up before. Getting admitted to the Supreme Court is literally just two other people who are admitted to the Supreme Court say, yeah, Sean's a good guy. And then I pay a little bit of money and poof, you're admitted to the Supreme Court bar. It's literally like you just pay them money and they let you do it. It's something you get to hang up on your wall and says like, I like me, look at me, I'm super lawyer. It's like the super lawyer shit. It's all just about, it's just all about that. Is this a publicity tactic? And I mean, I don't think so because all the people already involved, haters or supporters already are involved. I don't think it's going to do it. Brimstone says, why don't you do it? I mean, I'll get around to it at some point. I'm more worried about getting into the, I keep just getting lazy about it, but I need to get the Northern District stuff done. I need to get submitted into there. Just so I'm in the Northern District and then my Sixth Circuit stuff. But yeah, I mean, like getting into federal court here in Ohio, like that actually I could probably do some things with. But overall, it's just Supreme Court's like, meh, not that important. Uh-oh, what is this here? I got a text. Oh, my mom. She's like, you're 4 minutes late. It's like, thank you, Mom. Yes, the Federal Court of Appeals is the First Circuit. Well, I know Kurt and Bronca. I know a couple people who have Supreme Court. Like, there's guys, the Supreme Court bar. There's like a million fucking people on it. It's like everybody's in it. Neo Dark Matter says hi, Sean's mom. Your mom called me gay. Well, she's probably called me a faggot before, so who knows? At least I don't remember. You guys hope Mama Criminal wasn't watching chat. She doesn't normally watch chat. All right, guys. So yeah, there's Carry on Red. There's some things that were filed. The court has kind of denied some stuff that's out there, but yeah, there's not a whole lot going on, guys. There's not a whole lot going on in this case. Like it is what it is. It is what it is. Real quick before we get too far, we do need to get to our sponsors tonight. We do have our sponsors to the show, people that we do care about here. They show their love to us. First and foremost, we have the dragonstreasure.com, a haven for tea and anime lovers, but also not just them. They also, if you are a soap lover, which I'm assuming most of us are, if you're a coffee lover, those are all things you can love at the dragonstreasure.com. And not the bad dragon, just the Dragon's Treasure. You can get everything you want there, guys. You can get your teas, get some good teas that are out there. He's got, black teas. He's got some good, all kinds of exotic teas that are out there. He's got featured teas right now. What kind of feature tea is he running? He's running apple cider tea. He's running Magical Girl Jupiter tea. He's running Secrets of the Songstress, cherry green tea. What else he got? He's got a hug and a mug. So for those of you guys who want a hug, there you go. You know, you got other things out there, guys. You get got some soaps. He's got Blessed Heel lavender soap, eucalyptus scrub, tea tree soap. Well, that makes sense because he's a tea guy. But buy his tea, chat. Buy his teas. Then for his coffees, you know, unlike, you know, he doesn't have blueberry, you know, he's got a blueberry cheesecake coffee, a Glitch in the Matrix coffee if you're an Andrew Tate fan and you want to toast his demise and his collapse with a good cup of coffee. You can have the Glitch in the Matrix, among other things out there, chat. So hit him up. Use the promo code criminal. Get 10% off. Buy his tea. Buy his tea. Next up, chat, we have MAFarms.com, MAF-arms.com, MAF-arms.com, MAF Corporation, Matt LaRosier, Fudbusters. You know him. You love him. He is out there, chat, just selling the wind chimes. He's just pushing those wind chimes so hard. Guys, it's getting to summer. We're getting to spring. You know, spring has sprung on us. Baseball's already started. I mean, God, we had like a couple 70-degree days this week. Yesterday it was weird, though, because it was like pouring rain and like 35 degrees when I was, you know, doing stuff yesterday, going to court. And now today it was like 65 degrees outside and sunny. So it's springtime. Let your neighbors hear your wind chimes. Use the promo code POTCRIM. Save you 10% on that. And tell Matt I sent you. Tell Matt I sent you. Stoney's is our final sponsor. And is it really fair to call them the final sponsor? But they are, chat. It's Stoney's Bar and Grill at 158 East Broadway Street in Rockville, Minnesota. Chat, Stoney's is your place to go. Chat, they are still on their alternate hours. Tomorrow, they open at noon. But chat, it's Thursday. And Stoney's is home of the $2.50 cans. I mean, what more could you want? I mean, that speaks America to me, really, at the end of the day. So anyways, guys, remember, there's one more day till the Rockville Fire Department's fish fry. They are delivering fish to Stoney's. But if you want to go to the firefighters relief thing, you go to the Rockville Parish Center, $13 tickets at the door. Get your fish fry there, guys. It's Lent. Eat your fish. Be a good boy. Tomorrow night, also, they have Crimson Edge showing up, and Saturday performing his Last Call. Guys, it's Stoney's. What more do you want? And I do know Aaron reached out to me about coming out for the shows in July. That may happen. That may happen. I typed everything out in the response to him on Twitter, and I forgot to hit send. So I got a whole response to Aaron. I was like, oh, shit. But guys, yeah, maybe that'll happen. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe I'll come out and MC Naked Twister for everybody. You know, I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen? But you know what? If it does happen, it's going to happen at Stoney's, Minnesota's premier biker bar for 30 years. Oh. Normally at Stoney's, the fish frequent the bar stools. Oh, Lent is unbiblical. I don't know about that. Yeah, so you go to the Wilmar VFW on Mondays. Yes. Do the karaoke. Apparently it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do karaoke at the VFW. Kat says we can do categories. Well, maybe. Oh. So Naked Twister with Sean Logistics is working in my head. I'm not going to participate. I'm just going to be, you know, spin the spinner and be like, right foot green. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not participating. I'm not participating. So just something to think about there. All right, guys, now moving on from there. We got a couple other things we need to rip through here quick, and we need to get going on them. So we are going to cancel out, leave, and hold on here. Ooh, we're looking better than I thought we were. All right, chat. Moving on from there, we got some news about, America's son, America's the son of America here, Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden. He is giving up his law license. He is accepting a voluntary disbarment in the District of Columbia. He is actually barred out of D.C. You can be barred in Washington, D.C. only. With that said, most times people who come and get practice law in Washington, D.C. have a law license somewhere else. So, for example, for me, to go practice in D.C., it's really simple. You just pay a registration fee, and you're allowed to practice there. That's generally how most people go. Hunter has a D.C. law license, though. So his license is through the District of Columbia. And guys, there is Hunter, in his uncoked up glory. But he's agreed to give up his law license. And why did he do it? Well, he agreed to give it up because he has a felony conviction. And because of that, he is surrendering it. And he's surrendering it there. The DC's Bar of Professional Responsibility is doing that. And they said so, and they disclosed what had happened. And in that disclosure, they talk about what they're doing. And this is Hunter Biden's disciplinary proceedings that they're doing. So remember, though, guys, even though Hunter got pardoned, that doesn't change your liability for the acts that you did. Remember, Joe Biden pardoned Hunter, but that doesn't mean what Hunter did isn't still something the Board of Professional Responsibility is going to say, yeah, you can't do that as an attorney. So Hunter Biden was at this point already temporarily suspended. He got suspended back in June when he got convicted. So I know some of you are going to say, what about that guy in Minnesota? I don't know how it's going to work up there. But this is how they do it in D.C. It also helps being super high profile that they know it's happening. So they say it's a consent motion, meaning he's agreed to do it. And they, an amended motion accepting consent to disbarment, an affidavit to consent to disbarment under seal. So they're saying that the affidavit required under Rule 12 shall not be publicly disclosed or made available for use in any other proceeding except by order of the court or upon written consent of the attorney. So Hunter's thing is going to be kind of like the body cams, at least for a little while. He can't, nobody can get it unless a court orders it, or Hunter signs off saying, yes, let the world see this, let the world see my affidavit. So the required affidavit is attached here to do this, and they talk about what happened. They say, pursuant to all of this, they request the court file the amended motion to accept his consent to do this, and they're asking for the relief here, and it's being sent to Hamilton Fox III. That's a solid name, chat. That's a solid name. Also to Hunter Biden, care of his attorney, Abe Lowell, which, you're like, wow, he's still got those same scummy attorneys. And this was done on the first day of April. So April Fool. It's like, oof, that's rough. That's rough. That's rough, guys. So, guys, if you remember, last June, he was convicted of owning a gun and using illegal drugs and lying on gun forms. So remember, these things here will draw into question your ability and fitness to be an attorney. You lied on a forms. You were committing perjury. You were lying. You were using illegal drugs. Those are all problems. And then in September, he pled guilty to tax evasion and other tax crimes. So those are all issues where they're going to question your character and fitness. And then, yes, Joe pardoned him for all those crimes. But here's the thing. Remember, chat, even if you're not your conviction, it's all wiped away. You still admitted to it. And they have proof you did it. They can still punish you for conduct. You can still be punished for conduct you do, even if you've been, like, let's say you got acquitted of all these charges. The bar can still decide, yeah, we have concerns about all of this. Yes, it's a crime of moral turpitude. Yes. I would say tax evasion isn't, but yes, the lying is a crime of moral turpitude. Tim is saying the auto pen intern pardoned him. Guys, remember, I already brought this up. I've said it before. The auto pen doesn't matter. Joe Biden could auto pen every document he ever did during his presidency. As long as he said, yes, sign that, or they had permission to sign it, it's valid. And even then, at this point, if it wasn't, it's too late. You can't do anything about it. So, Jonathan says bullshit. He's still on coke. Sure. Tax evasion proves moral integrity. Well, yes, it's your duty as an American to evade taxes. So, but yes, the details have been quiet, and there's ultimately the D.C. Court of Appeals has a final say on bar discipline in the District of Columbia. Now, normally your state Supreme Court is in charge of that, but remember, there's no state Supreme Court in D.C. There's only the District of Columbia Court of Appeals. So there you go. Remember there, and you know what? Since Hunter's agreed to turn it over, they're simply going to say, "All right, well, he's done. We're done." And they'll say, "Happy trails, Hunter. Have fun painting." So Hunter Biden's out, chat. He is out of here. Real quick, guys, I know this is something Radix Ferrum over on Twitter, guys. She's here on YouTube. I know it's been a little while since I've seen her hanging out. I hope she's doing well. She's been covering the stuff of the Whitmer kidnap plotters. Well, the two of them that were federally convicted, their convictions were upheld by the Sixth Circuit on April 1st, and it's the two guys who got convicted, Barry Croft and Adam Fox. Remember, guys, four of them were federally charged with plotting to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer, where they had a bunch of glowies involved, including some really homosexual FBI agent that beat his wife all the time and beat her up at a swingers party or something. I don't know. The whole thing was just garbage. Well, anyways, they did all of that, and two of the other guys actually got acquitted. Daniel Harris and Brandon Caserta were acquitted of their charges in federal court, and they won on their stuff. So they ended up getting charged with that stuff. Fox was sentenced to 192 months in prison, and Croft got 235 months. The three-member panel of the Sixth Circuit issued a 43-page opinion. We're not going to go over chat because it's really long. But they point out the record is complete with evidence that they agreed to kidnap Whitmer from her lakeside home, provided the opportunity presented itself, which that's not true. They didn't. It was a bunch of bullshit. These guys should be pardoned. These guys should be fucking pardoned. It's absolutely evil what happened to them. It's a fucking travesty. You know, we learned about how fucking corrupt the investigation was during the trial, but sadly, you know, they're probably not going to get it, even if, I mean, hopefully they appeal it to the Supreme Court, but I have the feeling the Supreme Court's going to deny it. And it's a shame because those guys got fucked really hard. They got fucked really hard on their case. Job well done says, how much of that will they serve? Like 90% of it. Like they're going to serve almost all of it. So, yes, it's unjust on a mammoth scale. It is. Yeah, it's absolutely horseshit. It's absolutely fucking horseshit. But just want to let you know that's kind of an update there. It's a little depressing. I mean, based on what we know, those guys didn't do shit. It was the informants and the glowies who pushed the entire thing. They pushed the entire thing. So no, these guys are not responsible. Yeah, 9 years. That's a lot of fucking time. Yeah, it's a lot of time, guys. So yeah, bunch of bullshit there. Bunch of bullshit. Bunch of time. So, you know, that's a lot. I mean, 192 months is 16 years, guys. 192 months is 16 years, and 235 months. Whew. It adds up quick, chat. It adds up quick, and that's how the government does it. It's just under 20 years. Absolute horseshit would happen to these guys. Yes. But can't we say entrapment because it was not a legal valid defense according to some of the judges? Yeah. Yep. Absolutely garbage. It's absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Absolute garbage, chat. It's just, yeah. Oh, just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So, just didn't want to depress you guys, but you know, it has to happen. It has to happen. In other depressing news, the Matrix is actually the deep state. The establishment is going after people on the right, going after everything there. Marine Le Pen, the somewhat based leader of National Front out en France, has been barred from running for president after being convicted of embezzlement on the idea that she embezzled EU funds, which sound like bullshit. But that way they keep her off the running because, as we found out during the last presidential elections, the Macron-led government had to make a deal with the communists to beat the right wing. So she was charged and she was found guilty of it. She's trying to appeal, but it did just come out, guys. This is a brand new thing that is happening here. She was found guilty of embezzlement by a criminal court and was immediately barred from running for office for 5 years. And that's the issue because she's the current front runner in the 2027 election. Like, she's likely to win. And yeah. So you know, they point out that this is because of what she did when she was in the EU Parliament and the funding she had there. So she's been unjustly convicted and French democracy has been executed. And notice it's a hard right leaders across Europe. But yes, Viktor Orban, who's, you know, one of the more base people in Europe, you know, agreed. He says this is bullshit. He says, Je suis marine. Yes. You know, and it's funny because people are saying this is no more than the rule of law, which isn't really the rule of law because when you read about it, you're like, huh, the EU Parliament is a transparency problem, and she's a window into what's wrong with it. Well, and as I think Nick Starro has been talking about it, Marine Le Pen has done a bunch of shit that everybody else has been doing. It's not that big a deal. Nobody else gave a shit until she did it. But this is her at the National Assembly in Paris. And yes, so she is now facing problems here. And I do think it's bullshit. But she's one of 24 people convicted for redirecting millions for political work to serve the party's domestic interest. They employed staffers who were declared as assistants but had other duties like being her bodyguard, which, okay, well, everybody's got problems here. But this is an issue that I don't see going away right away. And yeah, this is just another example of people just can't let shit go. People just can't let shit go. Is she related to the auto pen? No. Yes, it's just like they did in Romania where they disqualified the guy who had won the presidential election in Romania, Georgescu. And they said, nope. He likes, you know, they're like, I think he likes Russia. And they said, nope, you're no longer in anymore. You lose the election. So, yes, of course it's bullshit because all of France is bullshit. Well, yeah, there you go. Yes. Yes, the whole thing is irrelevant. What kind of moron wants to be drafted? Yes. They just like us. Yes, they just like us. So that is what's happening there, guys. That's kind of the other things here. We're going to get through some of these other stories here real quick. This one here, chat, we've got the cover going in Ohio, a super cover. We have an Ohio polygamist who ordered her husband and 4 lovers to kidnap and torture a man. So what happened? Well, out in Toledo, Ohio, a woman and her husband and her 4 lovers were arrested and are currently in jail in Toledo for torturing a 26-year-old man held captive in a hotel room for a week. And these are the people involved. So what happened here is this woman, she was running a one-woman cover That's the problem here. It's like Kayla and April, take note. These two were husband and wife, and then they covered with this guy. They covered with this guy, covered with this guy, and covered with this guy. It's a 6-way cover, chat. They went out, they saw the Ricada Mall, and they're like, we could build upon this. 4 people. How about 6 people? And with 6 people and 5 penises, chat. 5 penises. So they talk about these people. They captured a guy and held him in a hotel. The deranged lovers who share multiple children. Yes, they share children, chat. They really did. They did the cover all the way. They did the cover all the way. Brutally beat the victim with a metal bat and forced him to stand for extended periods of time. And only allowed him to eat or drink once over a 7-day stretch. But it's like, why did they do this? Why did they do this? That's the thing here. He only slept for a total of 10 hours while he was held against his will. That's actually kind of impossible. You'd almost die. So, his injuries were struck with a bat, fist, elbows, and stomping him when he was on the ground. Guys, look, baseball bat! They really did listen to Nick. We'll use a baseball bat, too. He had a baseball bat involved in this chat. So, okay, so why do they do this? It was a scheme for retribution following a scuffle at her home. And the victim said a dogfight erupted at the woman's house that resulted in her breaking her arms as the pair tried to stop the dogfight. And she said that the guy had actually crippled her limb and broke her arm. So these are all the people. The funny thing is, I know what courtroom this is in. This is courtroom 3 at Toledo. This is courtroom 3 in Toledo Municipal Court. They were immediately hauled into felony court. I know where that is. I could tell. Because right down here is a deputy who sits when you come out. And he marks you down and tells you to go stand at the table. So I know exactly where this is. So he was eventually, they let him go to a speedway for some reason. So they released him. And he called for help. So the police showed up. But yeah, chat, when you're doing your cover, chat, be careful. Be careful when you're doing your cover. Be careful. Yes, the Styx Hexen clan. Yes. Don't do the Styx Hexen clan either. Is the Lady Rebel Wilson? No. No. So, should we check the hotel reviews? Yes. Oh. Yeah, so there you go, guys. That is that's something to think about. It's something to think about out there. Where are we at on time right now? Okay, we need to get going here. We're gonna finish up with the funny stuff here with one last thing. This is a motion that was filed. Luke sent this to me, and this is actually pretty funny. You see these every once in a while, but I don't think we've ever gone over one of these before. This is a motion a guy has, and it's a great motion. It's a great motion to go fuck yourself. This was filed in February in the Western District Court of North Carolina, in North Kakalaki. And it's handwritten, so you know that he did this with care. And he says, for many years, this court has routinely violated my civil rights, most of the details of which the court struck from the record. While my crimes were completely victimless, this same court routinely sentences those who rape children and steal millions for lesser sentences than what I received. There is no question that this court is part of a massive corruption ring, leading to the furtherance of the albatross of mass incarceration in this land of the free. I believe anything filed with this court will be met with the same disregard to my right to petition the court. Therefore, I submit to the court to go fuck yourself. Submitted this day, 12th day of February, 2025. Sean Thomas Johnson in pro se. Very impressive. Very impressive. Very, very impressive. Very impressive. Sometimes you have to tell the court to go fuck themselves. Sometimes you have to tell the court to go fuck themselves. Now, this is Oh, that's one way to do it. That's one way to do it, chat. That's one way to do it. I don't know if I recommend it, but you can try. You can try. Hilda Breaks, that's the first time I've ever seen a handwritten one. For being handwritten, that's decently right justified. It is. I know. I'm trying to give him credit there. Yes, for the record, woo! Tim Beattie says denied. The court's going to say, we'll take judicial notice of this. Duly noted. MLS, David, how you doing? Yes, says go fuck yourself. Yes. Old Wine Red says the narrator, his crimes were not in fact victimless. Although I'm sure it's probably some bad drug shit this guy got. So was a little funny there. Yes, Sarah Boone ain't got shit on these legal skills. Yes. Motion to fuck yourself actually is granted. KLF saying he was sentenced to 92 months for bank fraud. Oh, well, really, is it a crime to steal money from the Zionist bankers? Is it really a crime? I would say no. This man is a hero. So, Mr. Johnson, if you're out there, if you can hear this, thinking of you, buddy. Am I covering Lori Vallow starting Monday? No, if it's, is it even being broadcast? Because I thought it wasn't, and then it was, and then it wasn't. We might do it to catch up with it because it'll be something to cover. But remember, I got a trial starting the 14th and 15th that kind of got thrown on me that I'm not fucking happy about. But we're gonna have to deal with it and get ready. So, yes, he's extra based. Oh, it's gonna be on a 30-minute delay. So okay, that's fine. We'll watch it, but We'll have to watch at night to catch up, probably. So. What's going on with Sarah Boone? Not a whole lot right now. Eric says no Carl Yopes news. Yeah, guys, I already said it. It's going to require us to watch the judge give his ruling because I want to break it down, and I'm trying to get a hold of some documents. But no, Carl lost. Billy Mitchell won. It turns out Carl was a lying fucking cocksucker who scammed people into paying for his defense because he lied about what it was about. So yes, Carl lost the defamation lawsuit to Billy Mitchell. We'll cover that, just not tonight. So, you need to, SB Seller says, I need to know if the two Bradshaw guys in the Ohio degeneracy are father son. I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that. I don't know. Probably. So, let's see here. What else is there? Okay, real quick, guys. Also, rapper Sean Kingston. You guys know him or ever heard of him? He's facing potentially going to prison here. Him and his mom got convicted in a fraud scheme. So they were convicted over this. A Florida jury found that they were guilty of committing wire fraud and 4 counts of wire fraud. And what happened? So they remain in custody and they're under house arrest. They can face up to 20 years in federal court for this. Wire fraud. Remember, Chad, if you use the internet or use a phone or electronic means to commit fraud, that's wire fraud. So if you use an email to do some kind of goofy shit, that could be wire fraud very quickly. So a legal representative says they don't have time to comment. But what they did is allegedly they sold $480,000 worth of jewelry, a Cadillac Escalade. Of course, it's an Escalade. And furniture of nearly $90,000. They also defrauded Bank of America out of $200,000 and another bank out of $300,000. So, yeah. So, there you go. Took the jury 3.5 hours to deliberate. So, it's yeah. So we'll probably take a look at that as it happens or if there's stuff to look at in there. But remember, guys, it's a federal case. Not a whole lot we can do. And then moving on to somebody who, if you guys don't know who they are, this is Aubrey Cottle, also known as Kirtaner, who is some kind of a jack-off loser hacker. And famously, They said, I do intend on the destruction of Kiwi Farms and Josh Moon seeing a prison cell. Yes, there's a lot of cringe with this person. They are a fucking tool. They are a toolbox. As they do things, they are just completely fucking cringe. He is, or Zimzir, I don't know. I even think he's trans. Not 100% sure. He's like fucking weird. So, anyways, he is in some legal trouble for his hacking. He is in some legal trouble for his hacking because he's a fucking idiot. And when you do things, when you do hacking and other stuff where you're like, you think you're engaging in fucking around in what you might deem cyber terrorism, it really doesn't pay to brag that you're doing cyber terrorism. I don't know why you would brag about it, because it's really fucking stupid and it's really cringe and it's really gay to do it. So if you guys have not seen this is one of the things that, and also, by the way, chat, just so you try to see, I'm using my potentially criminal farms account, so don't worry, you're not going to figure out who I am. This is the thing you hear, yes, but the latest thing is, what are you going to do? Well, this is him, just so you get a taste of how fucking psychotic he is. Just so you get a taste of this here.
You're not an unknown actor. I'm literally a famous fucking cyber terrorist. And you think that you can scare me? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to me, huh?
So yes, if that's the thing, guys, if you're really engaging in terrorism or whatever you may deem, don't talk about it. Remember, don't take notes on a criminal conspiracy. Stringer Bell's got it right.
Nigga, is you taking notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy? What the fuck is you thinking, man?
Because guess what? Uh-oh. Life comes at you fast. Because, well, yeah, well, from an indictment that just got unsealed because he just got fucking arrested. Because he did go on to, here in March 26th, he says, I'm being arrested for hacking right now. Help. What are you going to do? We're going to fucking arrest you. Now, I mean, would it have been better if we just fucking drone strike them? Sure. But yes, United States of America versus Aubrey Cottle. Yes, you weren't invincible over there, buddy. You were invincible over there, homeboy. Maddie says, Sean, did he get to go? I'm in. Yes. He's now in federal custody. So there you go. Yes, once again, some self-snitching. Yes, as Bruce Rivers liked to say. Yes, he done fucking told on himself like a tard, like a tardo. So we have this. This has already been in the process for a while now, you guys. The indictment was sealed until they arrested him, and they arrested him recently, so the indictment has been unsealed. So Aubrey Cottle, also known as Kirtaner, and a bunch of this has been redacted. So you could say here, what did he do exactly? Well, the FBI got involved because he committed computer intrusions by gaining unauthorized access to Epic Enterprise Solutions computer network in order to deface and download a backup of the Republican Party of Texas's information and their web servers, including personal identifying information for the Texas GOP. This information was distributed and made available for download on a torrent. And he claimed responsibility for the attack on multiple social media platforms. Now, sure, at the time, the Biden DOJ didn't care, but it looks like they had been working on it quietly. Because you see, September of 2024, they finally were getting around to it. So, yes, you cannot do this, chat. You cannot do this. You cannot fuck with people's personal identifications. Their identities, their names, social security number, date of birth, government driver's license or other government document numbers, employers' tax numbers, unique biometric data like fingerprints, voice analysis, retina or iris images, or other unique physical representations. Electronic identification number access or routing codes. Some people should take note of this shit if they've been fucking around on someone's accounts that may have been linked to things like Google. Just saying out there. Just saying out there, chat. This could be a fucking problem for you. This could be a problem for you. Just saying. So yeah, just saying something out there. So they proved that this was done in Texas and it was multiple felony violations of the Texas Penal Code. And they go through all this and they say in the summary, they believe that Kirtaner went there and knowingly gained unauthorized access to deface and download a copy of their web server containing the PIIs, the personal identifying information. And the group that claimed it initially was anonymous. And the real Anonymous is all fucking glowies now. Like the cool Anonymous has been rounded up or flipped. The banner of the website was replaced with cartoon characters, a pornographic image, and a music video. And this is all done because of somebody got into the hosting provider. And in addition to the defacement, the actors downloaded all the server information and made it available on a torrent. Now, that some of this is not done because, guys, this is not all of it. The case is Aubrey Caudill et al. There are other parties out there. So this is still partially sealed. There are other parties that they are going after. So some of you anonymous faggots, watch your ass. They're coming for you. And I'm sure Aubrey's going to scream like a little bitch. What are you going to do? And I'm sure he's in prison now. Oh my God, what do I do to get out of here? What do I got to do? But have fun with your identity theft charges, fuckface. Have fun with those. Have fun with those. Suffer. And then here's something here. Search nothing, you assholes. Lol, goatsy. They fucked with it. They did stuff here. Jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. Bush lied. People died. Okay. That part's base. Bush did lie. People died. Phone number is 1-800-FUCK-YOU. The disclaimer, hackers on steroids are 10 times more effective at romance than 100% of Republicans. Trans demon hackers are coming to get you. Abortion is a choice. Womp, 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 womp. Now, it's funny because Epic in their, when they were interviewed by CNN, said that they believed that, Kirtaner was responsible. And then Kirtaner does the dumb fucking thing. He does the dumb thing, chat. He makes notes on a criminal fucking conspiracy. Using Discord. Of course he used Discord. He then wrote, I gave the children the SQLI exploit and the Gab code already. He says, when it hits, you'll never see it attributed to me, but Epic's hosting's fucked. And he says, yes, look, and this is his Discord. This is great. This is great. Brilliant fucking job. Brilliant fucking job. So there you go. There you go on this chat. They say a BitTorrent user using the IP address of this downloaded the compromised data. An open source check of the IP address using Whois data identified the service provider as Bell Canada. Kirtaner is up in Canada. The FBI provided the address to the Ontario Provincial Police, who confirmed it was assigned to him. So there you go. There you go, chat. And remember, there's a bunch of shit here that's blocked out because there's other people they're going after. So they also talk about his TikToks. And he claimed ownership for the hack against Epic. Yeah, so he TikToked his fucking crimes. They found all the messages where he was bragging about the intrusions. He said, I also did this to the Texas GOP on September 11th. And he says to the FBI, you're just reading my logs. Eat my ass. I helped your sedition charges, in which he was a sedition hunter. The least you could do is pay for my therapy. Well, don't worry. You'll get all kinds of taxpayer-funded therapy in prison. You're getting pounded out by a bunch of white supremacists. I'm sure that he'll enjoy that. He keeps on going here, though. He talks about how much data was there. He says the hack is described as a Rosetta Stone to the far right because it allowed him to do links between far-right websites, groups, and individuals. And they said this is the Panama Papers of hate groups, except it wasn't. It wasn't. They talk about him, once again, though, a security researcher and co-founder of Anonymous. Well, he wasn't very good about being fucking anonymous. declined to share about the information, but said it was fueled by hackers' frustrations over Epic is serving as a refuge for far-right extremists. Well, brilliant fucking job. So they seized his house and got 20 terabytes of data. Once again, chat, why do you hoard all your shit like that? Why do you hoard all your shit like that? What a fucking moron. What a fucking moron. You know, he's sitting there talking, and here's the FBI the whole time.
Licking their pencils right now, trying to write fierce as they can. Get every word of this here. Get every word of this.
Basically, that's what he did. And guess what the FBI did? They wrote down every fucking word. He says, I have the root on the Epic networks. I have access to all their VMs, virtual machines, or domains of customer data. I can hijack Gab's domain. I'm dumping 900 gigabytes of client VMs at this very moment. Delete this message after reading. Fucking dumb fucks. Fucking retards. So this person here is probably going to get indicted and chased after. This person here is going to get chased after and indicted. Oops, I control the Texas GOP. And they say they found the stolen GOP data located on the computer. They say Canadian law enforcement also seized the 1 terabyte Western Digital solid state hard drive. I have one of those. So I'm just like a hacker. I use hacker grade material. A review of the drive revealed a file folder called Epic Fail, You Lost the Game, located within a file folder titled Dumps. He kept his fucking shit. What a tard. What a tard. Within the file, Epic, well, I mean, imagine that. He's like a fucking, them's your other kid, and imagine that. He's fucking a loon, so he doesn't take care of things. Yes, they found all kinds of file names. These contain subfolders which were, based on the review of the folders, were various legislative documents. They had applicant resumes. They had an application checklist for district attorney and state representatives. They had all kinds of shit that's protected that we don't know about. They had everything going through there. They had everything going through. So they say Cottle had a copy of the stolen data on devices, and he bragged about acquiring it. Yep. So he gained unauthorized access to the computer hosted there and defaced the Texas GOP website in violation of the Texas state statute. And they indicated all this was located in the Western District of Texas. So they have a warrant to arrest him. They had this warrant back in September of 2024. Oh, God, buddy. He is fucked. He is fucked. He is in custody currently. He's not going to get out of custody because he's a flight risk. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're going to throw your ass in prison, motherfucker. So, Josh, if you're out there, I hope you're, I hope you're kicking back and savoring a nice, good piece of pizza. Or, if you're having a road pop, hope you're having one. Hope you're having a good drink. But yes, chat, cheers to this fucking cocksucker sitting in prison. It's going to work out great for him. Oh, I'm sure there's all kinds of cheese pizza there. Yes. He's going to get tried in Canada first. I could see that, but yeah, the U.S. is going to get him at some point. So, yes, he's a leftist streamer taking advantage of his young female fans. Nah, he's kind of like on the other side of he swings for the other team. So there you go. He's not the real hacker, just the obvious targeted distraction. Well, no, that's the problem. That's the problem. No, he actually was involved in this, but they're all script kiddies. The real anonymous guys are out of the game or they're quiet because most of those anonymous guys were taken down. So when you're on Twitter, there's like an anonymous accounts. They're all fucking losers. Like one of them, some loser in Estonia. The other ones are all just bullshit. So, yeah. Yes, chat, if it's on ClearNet, it's never deleted. Even if it's not, it's generally never deleted. That's why you don't communicate in these means. You do it face to face. That way it's, gone forever. So there you go. Don't feel bad for him. Does he keep his money laundering ledger in his wallet too? Probably. Wasn't Epic one of the corpos Noel was seething about? No, Epic actually had to settle with the farms because they had made claims that the farms was doing CSAM, child material, and they had to prove, nope, we aren't. And Epic had one of their people go back and forth with them and defamed the farms, and Epic had to come back and issue a public retraction. So, yeah, that was actually pretty epic for the farms to secure that win. So, Josh is enjoying little trips, Dingus. Yes. Yes. Always in cash, never in writing. Yes, it's one of the few things, Robert Barnes got right. One of the few things he got right. So, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, chat. Sad thing is sending this guy to prison is like sending a kid to Disneyland. Yeah, well. Yeah. Well, oh well. Yeah, the dump is a term for we took everything without sorting. Here it is. Yeah, so the dump is just a big file. But yeah, like lazy enough to keep onto this shit. Once it's on the torrent, delete it. Get rid of it. Trash that hard drive. Do a DOD level wipe where you overwrite it a bunch of times, then you slag it down and get rid of it. If it's got platters, this is old, how old hard drive stuff is done. You take the platters out and you sand them down so they can't be read. Or, what I used to do with hard drives, you can take a hard drive and melt it down with a torch so it's completely unreadable. Like, there's all kinds of stuff you could do. But if it's out there, why would you keep it? Because you're a fucking tard. That's why you keep it. All right, chat. All right. So from there, guys, we are going to move on to the final thing tonight. The Tesla terrorism. And this is a real thing. This is a real thing that's going on. And here's the thing, guys. If you guys didn't understand some of this stuff, and when we're talking about the Tesla stuff, we're going to talk about the lady who put the gum in the door. But even the people keying up cars, guys, a Cybertruck's worth a lot of fucking money. It's like $90,000. Imagine if you walked up to like a $90,000 BMW and you just keyed the shit out of it. You're probably going to cause like felony levels worth of damage to it. Imagine if somebody had a Bugatti or a Lamborghini there and you smashed off one of the side mirrors. It's going to be a lot of fucking money. So don't do it. Don't do it. Don't go shocked Pikachu face and go, I didn't know this was going to happen. Well, too fucking bad. Too bad. Yeah, it's the issue here. And if you guys didn't know this, I'm just showing you this because this is pretty gnarly. I've never seen the Cybertruck if you guys have never seen the Cybertruck like door handles, this is like part of the issue here. So here's the Cybertruck's door handle. So you can see it's a door handle right now, but when the Cybertruck rolls up, watch the door handle. See, there's no door handle. So there you go. So that's not cheap to do. That's not cheap to do. So what do we have from here? Well, we have some things that have happened. And the first one is this case here, which is very interesting. This is a case where a guy's facing a felony charge for vandalizing a Tesla. And what did he do? Well, he didn't do a whole, he just keyed the shit out of the car. And it's very interesting what happens in this case because when they talk about it, you're like, wow, this guy's a fucking lunatic.
Fox 2 News at 5. I'm
So they talk about, you can see this guy here. He's keying the car as he's walking along in a parking lot at a store. And he just does it a couple of times. They're showing him going back and forth as he does it.
right kind of by the camera. And you can see the scratch
Also, if you guys didn't know, that's where the cameras are on the Teslas.
going all the way across the door.
Jody says this scratch that stretches across the entire length of her car is a daily reminder of what she thought was.
So that's going to be $1,000 to fix that. That's a lot of money to fix when you key the shit out of someone's car. And it gets even better, though, because they find the guy. And look at this dude. And they talk about this. How big of a fucking pussy do you have to be? Watch what this little bitch does.
You see him walking all the way across, right? So he's walked across many cars he could have keyed, but he walked across the parking lot to find my car and key my car.
From the side camera, you can see him drag the
I'm sure he did this on the way to pick up child pornography because he's probably some sort of pedophile.
key along her car.
It's all the way across, right from the front, across.
So this guy they did catch, and this is out in Town and Country, Missouri. They caught the guy who did this. It appears they caught the guy. He's a 39-year-old guy known as Matthew Reynolds. Look at him. He's like, I'm so sad I can't be soy anymore. I mean, look at him. Look at him. That type of guy. Like, too bad he didn't do it and it was some guy who could stomp a fucking mud hole in his ass. You know, come on. You know, he's like, I'm fighting Elon. I'm fighting fascism. I'm La Resistance. And that's the thing, chat. You want to be in La Resistance, you're going to have to deal with La Resistance consequences. You know what happened when people who opposed the Nazis? A lot of them fucking died or went to prison. Like, you want to play games. You want to resist. It ain't free, homie. It ain't free. There are no free rides in this. You're all in or you're all out. And he doesn't look like a man who's prepared to go all in. You know, you also have the case out of Florida where the lady shoved glue or chewing gum into the door handle. And you guys have seen that. You know, this is the problem. This is a problem. The door handle, I could easily see it being $3,000-$4,000 to fix if you start fucking with those things. So anyways, this lady vandalizes the car, and she does it at the mall, and the guy follows her where she's going and calls the police on her. And look at her. I'm sure she drives, well, I'm a Subaru driver, but I'm sure she drives a Subaru. But yeah, she's been charged with felony damaging a property after causing $3,000 worth of damage. And her name's Yamaris Marrero. And I think there's even a case of somebody keying up a Tesla who's an illegal, and he got fucking caught, and now he's getting deported, which is just like, great, you fucking showed us. You showed Elon. Show him, Elon, when you're sucking down dust in Guadalajara. But yes, this bitch destroyed the door handle on a car. Too bad. Like, it should be legal to beat people for doing shit like this. I'm sure, you know, and you can see in the picture, she's such a frail thing. If somebody beat her and her head cracked open on the concrete, I wouldn't feel bad for it. I'd vote not guilty. You want to fuck around and play games, you're going to get games. But yeah, she caused a $2,600 damage to the car and the door handles. That shit has to get replaced. And he says, you know, unfortunately, we're not doing this. He's like, I'm not putting up with it. I'm not putting up with this shit. But they caught her doing it, walking away. And yeah, she was in police custody as of a couple days ago. And I'm hoping she's still there. You know, you guys want to play fucking games. You're going to play games. Yeah. Imagine you're catching a felony because a billionaire you're mad at him and he has no idea you'll ever exist. Yeah. Oh. So it gets worse though, because we're dealing with like real fucking terrorism though, chat. We're dealing with real terrorism here. Like there's some real terrorism shit going on. And one of these is a guy in Colorado threw firebombs, which means Molotov cocktails, which, chat, I know we've gone over this before. Molotov cocktails are governed by the National Firearms Act. The ATF considers a Molotov cocktail as an incendiary device, which means it's a destructive device, which means when you make a Molotov cocktail, you have to register it with the ATF and pay a $200 fee and get a tax stamp for it. Now, can you make Molotovs and do all this stuff? Sure. If you guys go check out the YouTube channel Ordnance Lab, they have an explosive license and an SOT. They make Molotovs as part of their content, and they make tons of them. And they could do it, the right way. But this guy just made Molotovs and threw them at a fucking Tesla dealership, which using federally regulated weapons in the commission of a crime is another crime. This is how you go to prison for 20 years. It's considered terrorism. So anyways, this guy is named Cooper Frederick, and he used an incendiary device and threw it at the Tesla building. And there were people inside the building who were cleaning the building. Yes, the great leftist revolutionary threw a firebomb, and risked killing hardworking cleaning staff. I'm sure that works in his Antifa mindset. He must consider them collaborators. Well, anyways, this is him. Look at his face. He's like, is my mom gonna get me? He's like, maybe my boyfriend can show up. I mean, just look at this face. Look at this bitch-made face. Oh boy, I'm in trouble now. Oh no. But my Antifa, heck, Reddit said this would work. But Reddit told me this would work, buddy. Oh no. Oh no. So what does he have? Well, he's got an indictment in federal court. He's got a federal court indictment now. You know, the evil Drumpfler, he indicted me for breaking federal law. Ree! I mean, imagine this. He did the work and bidding of fucking people, and those people don't give a shit about him. Oh, well, stuffa boy. Suffa. So he is being charged that he unlawfully possessed a firearm that is a destructive device, and that was not registered with the National Firearms Registration Transfer Record, the NFRTR. So yes, guys, remember that Molotov is federally registered, and it's considered a firearm. And it's a violation of 26 USC 5861D and 5871. So remember, chat, the NFA itself is a tax. So they talk about March 7th, he maliciously damaged and destroyed vehicles by means of fire and explosive materials, vehicles that were in interstate or foreign commerce, and actively used in interstate and foreign commerce. So great, that's how the federal government gets involved. Womp, 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 womp. So there you go, chat. Brilliant fucking work. Brilliant fucking work. He got indicted. So brilliant fucking job, homie. I'm sure you showed Elon. Now, the next one's like the fucking real one. This is a thing, guys. Out in Oregon, we had Trantifa. You know, they're really going to war with Tesla out in Oregon. Well, there was some an Antifa member or a tranny member of Antifa, whatever you want to call it. Well, here you go, chat. Here you go. His jersey's name's Adam Lansky. Well, once we get to the picture, I'll leave it presented for no comment.
Tesla hate, sort of the epicenter of Tesla hate. So we came here to Portland, Oregon. This is a place.
So we're going to get to, so this is what the person did. They caused all this fire. And you guys have seen these pictures before. So what happened? Well, there's pictures of him throwing fucking Molotovs on camera. And look at him. Yo, going yeet.
Shooting up the building.
And yes, shooting the building too. Because if you go back to here, chat, we're going to see his picture again. That's an AR-15. That's an AR-15 with something on the front of it, also known as a suppressor. So you're like using real weapons here, chat. Like it's yeah. So anyways, here's a picture of Adam.
Son, we obtained this photo of Lansky wearing a blonde wig at a Pride event. The banner behind him says "Queer Firearms Training." On the table, there are pistol.
Presented without there you go, chat. There you go. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. Yeah. Not a surprise. Is anybody surprised really at that one? No. No, not really. Not really. So fucking Copernic is here. Yeah, so oof. Here's how Copernicus got caught. You know, being heckin' trans. I'm sure InRange TV is going to do a F's in the chat for this person when Carl does another video. But anyways, the United States of America versus Adam Matthew Lansky. I'm sure that's Zim Zier's name. He probably rees at this name. But anyways, this was a sealed indictment from back in the beginning of March. But this goes back to on January 20th when he did this. You know, I'm fighting Trump. So what did he do? Unlawful possession of unregistered firearms and destructive device. Because he had Molotovs. And you're like, wait, he had a silencer. And I'm like, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So likely they're going to charge him with more crime, but for now they're using that. So how do we get to here's what happened? So they have a special agent from the ATF being involved. And what do? ATF's involved in illegal firearms issues, but also arson. So anyways, they believe that Adam Lansky possessed an unregistered firearm, a destructive device, being a Molotov cocktail. So what do they do here? Well, it says it makes it unlawful to possess a firearm, which is a instructed device in this case, which is not registered to him in the National Firearms Registration and Transfer Record. So they go back to January 20th at 3:44 in the morning. There was a report of an individual that was throwing Molotovs at a building at a Tesla dealership. And they showed up and they saw the sidewalk and the building was on fire and everything was burning. And somebody was charging his vehicle there when they saw him walk up to the Tesla center with a collapsible wagon. And he walked between the building and vehicles and pulled out a bag and started lighting shit on fire. He then threw an object, and then he threw an object through the showroom window, and then he threw a couple more. And at that point, they saw him run through the fence. So they kept looking, and they looked around, and they found things that happened here. So what happened? A couple of his Molotovs didn't work. They bounced off the trucks and didn't ignite. He moves towards the showroom. He throws a couple of devices. And then he keeps going. At this point, the subject sees the eyewitness driving away. And at that point, he pulls out what's an AR and points it at the eyewitness. The eyewitness drives away. So already this guy wants to bring the fight to Elon. But he's going to kill an innocent man because the innocent man saw him. Tranny logic. Commie logic, chat. So he then takes his wagon. And listen how big of a bitch you are. You brought a fucking wagon. You didn't carry your shit in a backpack like a man. Well, you're not a man. You are a man. Act like a man. I'm bringing my wagon to the protest. Fucking pussy. So anyway, here he is trying to work on his Molotovs. Just pure fucking cringe. Too bad they didn't go off in his hands. Too bad they didn't go off, chat. Here's him getting ready to throw one. And then here's him throwing it, carrying the suppressed AR-15. They were able to review all of this, and they kind of figured out that they showed him running across the parking lot, wearing a dark face covering, and carrying something away. And they show him running across the parking lot with his shit all rolled up. And they show that, if they go back through far enough, they check all the cameras. They saw somebody walking around at approximately 1 a.m. wearing clothing and scoping out the Tesla center, going around and checking stuff out. So based on the timeline, they believe that he was involved in the arson. So they go on to keep looking. He caused $500,000 in damages. And this is the damage he caused. Destroying everything, breaking shit, ruining it, shooting up and smashing out windows. And this is the chain link fence that they believe he got cut through. And as they went through there, they found the devices. They were made from glass wine bottles filled with liquid that was field tested and determined to be an ignitable liquid. Styrofoam, or another similar substance, was also located inside of the devices. Now, chat, this is correct. You can do that to make things work. But if you're going to do a Molotov, don't use rags. Don't do it the way they did it. You have to do it the right way. You have to do a Molotov cocktail the right way. You might think it's a flame, but that's not how you do it, chat. There's actually a real way to do it. The real way to do it, chat, if you really want to know, is the old ways. And I'm going to show you the old ways, chat. I'm a proponent of the old ways. This is what you use. Those things on the side are called storm matches. They're like candles that don't go out. So instead of a rag, you would light those, and then you would throw it. Because the rag might fall off and might get floppy. But you use that. You use that, chat. Use the styrofoam to make napalm. But if you're going to do it Finnish style, you can use pine resin or oil and mix it with diesel fuel. Because the Finns were smart. You don't use gas because gas is explosive. The vapors can explode on you. If I take it and fill it with diesel or kerosene and I throw it, it kind of splashes all over whatever you're aiming and just stays there and burns. Gasoline is dangerous to handle and it can cause problems. So don't do that. Don't do that, chat. If you're going to do it, be very careful. Be very careful. It's just educational. Gerald, I'm teaching people safety. Don't make Molotovs with gasoline. It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. So as he keeps going, they find a bunch of these devices. Cloth was wrapped around the base of the device and secured by paracord, which means he used these as a means of transporting his cloth wrapped with him to get there. So he was at least smart enough to like, okay, well, I could take it off and then put it on. So they kept looking and they found them. Here's one of the ones he did. You're like, that's not right. This is not a proper Molotov. You want to fight fascists, do proper Molotovs. You want to be in La Resistance, use a proper Molotov. This is fucking garbage. This is hot garbage, chat. Fucking amateur hour. So anyways, just fucking hot garbage. So anyways, the projectiles entered the interior space of the structure and made an impact where customers would be. So there was a security guard there, who became aware of the shooting, said he didn't hear, he's got prior military experience, and said, I didn't hear the gunshots indicating the use of suppressed firearm. Okay, so they keep looking, they keep on going down, and they figure out eventually that there was a car there, a Volkswagen. Surprise, not really, with a license plate registered in Oregon. So they said it was outside Harbor Freight hours for business. So the police found this guy's car sitting there in the middle of the fucking night, like a retard. So they checked everything out and they found out it's registered to Adam Lansky, and here's his address. Oh, we just doxed an Antifa. Ha! Funny, funny, funny. So they do go on and they say that, the patrol officers, they believe that there was no knowledge of gunshots. The lack of gunfire was not, nobody reported it. So how did they figure out this was him, touching the items? So they have these glass bottles, right? Cool. They have a manual comparison. Why do they have a manual comparison of his fingerprints? Why do you think they have a manual comparison of his fingerprints, chat? And no, it's not because he's got a criminal record. Not because he's got a criminal record. No. But they found Molotovs. They found a couple different Molotovs. How did they? So they get through it all, and they go to the National Firearms Registration and Transfer Record. When you submit to use or purchase NFA items, your fingerprints are submitted to the ATF, and they upload those into systems. Who are now in the fingerprint database. And they went through and they found somebody named Lansky who owns the Lansky Firearm Trust, which is owned by Adam Lansky, who is the responsible party. In there, he has a short-barreled rifle and 2 silencers. That does not include destructive devices, which is what Molotov cocktails are, as I already said. So not only this, he gave them fucking evidence. He gave them the evidence. He gave him his fingerprints. When you submit to buy these things, you have to give up your fingerprints. So he gave them an extra tool to confirm it was him. Good job, Antifa. Good job. Good job. You're fighting the Heckarino fascists now. Yeah. So, yeah, brilliant fucking work. So, yeah. Brilliant fucking work. So guess what, chat? When you use bombs to commit crimes, it's terrorism. Womp, womp, womp. And also, if the government happens to be friends with this guy and you're fucking with him, you can't sit there and go, oh my God, the government's playing favorites. Oh! Now you know how the January 6th people felt like, oh my God, Trump's not in power anymore. How am I getting arrested? Oh! Like, no shit. No shit. Ah. Brilliant fucking work, homie. Brilliant work, homie. Have fun in prison. I'm sure they'll love Zimzier in there. You could maybe they'll let you wear your wig in prison. You can go, hi. Ah. So, Yeah. Yes. Don't break the law while you're breaking the law. Very good idea. Accidentally deported him to El Salvador. I'm sure he'll be like, oh my God, look at all these big strapping Latino men. Oh my God. We don't want to send him somewhere he's probably going to enjoy. That's not fair to him. So, yes. Yes, the other Surge says, yes, the government can fake cocaine metabolites. They can fake your fingerprints on a Molotov. They can. You don't know what the government has brought to the FBI lab. You don't know what the government has put on your NFRTR. So there you go, guys. There you go. Yes, the Tesla shit is getting out of control, but don't be a tardo. Don't be a tardo. You want to play, you want to be La Resistance. You better ready to be La Resistance. Because a lot of people in Resistance didn't make it. You want to hear about some people who did some metal shit in the Resistance? Read about Violette Zabot. She parachuted in from the SOE. They trained her, and she ended up getting tortured to death by the Gestapo. But not before she stacked bodies like firewood. But, yeah. Great job. Great fucking job out there. So, anyways, chat, I'm glad you guys know how to make your Molotovs properly. So from here, chat, we got to catch up on all the comments and everything that's out here. So we are a little behind right now. So here we go. Let's catch up. Brandon Lesko says, I'm a mint gelato Zionist. I do not like gelato. Ugh. Snoop says, more peen for the Clyde, less for Fatty. Yes. And chat, I'm sorry. I didn't, normally I have a lot of comments to go through. I didn't have a chance. We were kind of on a roll. I didn't really look over as much to start comments and local. So, StreamYard, my sorry. Vodka Blood says, Sean! Oh, thank you. Squizgar says, beaver nuggets should be fish nuggets with ketchup. I can see that. That makes sense. Assholes React, how you doing? Guys, remember, Sunday nights, 9 p.m., Whiskey 77 and 3 Bears over at Assholes React. You can find them here. Just like this. Says, here's your payment so you can't sue us for using your likeness. Thanks for being a good sport. Well, thank you. Guys, yes, they did a great job of covering they put together a really good compilation of me versus Nick. You guys should go watch it. Jumbo Dunn says, staying out of town is an odd condition. Depends where you're at. I mean, I know for a fact, at least here in Ohio, especially, there were some counties where, like, the old-time judges were like, condition your probation, stay the fuck out of my county. Don't ever come back. And they would put them on non-reporting probation and tell them, just don't ever come around here again. You know what? The judge can do that. Exile is an option. Jim is saying, why haven't, Jim, how are you doing, by the way? Why haven't Fannie and Wade been perp walked yet? They clearly broke numerous laws. I'm sure that Trump is probably working on that, but, you know, he's like, it's like he ain't going to forget, Wayne Grove said it, man. He ain't going to forget about you. Trump hasn't forgotten. He ain't forgotten. He is taking his time and making his moves. So I'm sure they're shitting bricks. Ag says Karen Reed made it on Dave Portnoy's podcast. Like, Karen Reed was on there, or they talked about Karen Reed. She's got to shut the fuck up. She's her biggest enemy. SB Sellers gifted 10 subs. Let's go, chat. Let's go. Thank you for that support. Getting those H1 green visas in here. Taking your jobs, Grays. We're taking your jobs and praying the gray away. Thank you for supporting your generosity. Fruitfly Sadie says Hunter was a lawyer. Yes, he went to Yale Law School, actually. Yep. SB Sellers says, what was he doing with it anyway? Well, Hunter was using his law license to, part of, being a lawyer Allows you to do all these shady business deals and shit Hunter was doing and networking across. It gives you the ability. It's like a smoke screen. It's like a camouflage. It allows you to run in and out of things. So, being a lawyer, that's why lawyers can do sneaky shit. It allows them to move around. Zero Fox has been a member for 15 months. Thank you for your support, man. I appreciate it. Says just because he's guilty doesn't mean he didn't do it. Well, that's true as well. Debbie O for $10. Thank you, Debbie. Says equal means equal versus Trump lawsuit filed today in Massachusetts argues the military's draft exclusion of women violates the Equal Rights Amendment. They have no idea what they're getting into here. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, hey, you know what, though? That's why the saying goes, can't understand normal thinking. But yeah, they really want to go fight in Ukraine, I guess. You really want to go die for Israel. I don't know, man. The Chugi Show is saying, why is Trump listening to Loomer? God help us. I don't know. Laura Loomer has got, she's got that forked tongue that she could just whisper into his ear. It's like the siren's call for some reason. I don't know. Maybe he really was boning her. I don't know. Maybe she's like she's got like a bomb ass pussy. I don't know. Could be. Jefferson Post says, same as they tried to do to Trump. Yes. Jefferson Post says, that looks like the Manson family with DEI casting. Yes. Oh. Scud X for five Canadian loonies or 2.5 toonies. Says, I've been enjoying fancy barbershop experience ASMR videos. Haircut Harry. Haircut Harry is a good channel if you aren't following it. He does all that shit, and it's some good ASMR. And I recently found Steel Toe's tattooed brother in one by complete accident. Uncanny. I think I know which one you're talking about, too. SB Seller says, I need to know if those two Bradshaw guys in Ohio are father and son. I don't know, but I think it's fair to presume. Tim Beatty saying street cred is a tough biz for script kiddies. And that means we're talking about Kirtaner. Guys, script kiddies are people who really don't do hacking. They just run scripts that are out there versus real hackers. They want to send the Ukraine or send the Tesla people to Ukraine. Based. Let them get hit with an FPV drone. That would be great. Imagine catching a felony because a billionaire doesn't know who you are. And B. Jefferson says, but Sean, we own the chuds. I know, you own the chuds. I guess good for you. You showed us. Buddy. And then Unforced Ego for $20. Thank you, by the way. Thank you very much. Says fake hacker, by the way, he's a skid. He's a fag. Yeah. Well, all those things, yes. He's a tool. Fuck him. I hope he has fun. Once again, the farms outlast another. So there you go, chat. There you go. Looking over on Rumble, TX47 says, I remember Waco. If anyone knows arson, it's definitely the ATF. Very true. ZVBS says, well, yes, Waco and Ruby Ridge, and the government is still murdering. The government tells you free when you're not. That's true, and it's no biggie. I mean, yeah, that's how they get away with it. In the land of the free and the home of the slave. Yes, that's true as well. It's hard not to argue with that. And then over in locals, what are you guys talking about here? This is a good one, KRM. I'll show this. Scooby's. Zike Scoobs, you're suspicious. CG says, we all just called him Skids when I was working for the company. Well, there you go. KMW says, I went to sleep and came back and Sean was still filibustering. Well, yes. Scooby would say, shut up, Raggett. All right, guys. So we are all caught up. Angela says, good night, chat. Well, good night, Angela. Thanks for being here. Hope you had a nice time. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. On a wall says, the Buc-ees thing seems like a stunt. It does a little to me, too. Paralegal says, you guys are disgusting. I'm going to like it here. Yes, you will. You will. Thanks for stopping by. Goodness. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we do a Thursday night show all the time, and generally through the week we try to do lives during the week. And if there's a trial or something worth covering, we'll cover that as it goes on as well. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. God, we got a lot of people in chat tonight. Good night. Good strong night from chat. Guys are just like on fire out here. Distance says Laura Loomer's bomb ass pussy trademarked. Well, ew. I don't think it's his ear that tongue thing is going into. Yeah, well. She's probably got a forked tongue in her vagina, I bet. Yes. And who needs vaccines when autism is free? Very true. Very true. Sparky says, have you seen the Carl Yobst and Billy Mitchell verdict? Yes. Apparently Carl's a big fucking liar and lied and grifted all the money for the lawsuit defense because he lied about what he was getting fucking sued for. We're going to cover that, guys. Like I said, the judge gave an actual, he read everything out loud. I'm trying to find documents. Yeah, fuck Carl. Carl's a fucking liar and scammed people out of a lot of money. So sadly. But we'll go over it. Geez, my throat is dry. I don't know. Where did I put my... Oh, I left the water in the sink. Yes, the teens that... Yeah, the kid that got stabbed to death at the track meet. Really fucking sad. Really fucking sad. You know, as soon as I heard what happened, I was like, I have a theory. And I was like, oh, I was confirmed. Yes, chat, we'll be going over to potentiallycriminal.locals.com very shortly here. Oh, okay. Half Irish, been a member for 14 months. Thank you for your support. Says, Dolly Talk. Yes, guys, Dolly. He's been on here a couple times. Also with Hella and on with MLS. Is covering the Lori Vallow trial. Okay, well, there you go, guys. If you need to see Lori Vallow, I may not be able to keep up on it because, like I said, I'm getting ready for trial myself, and it's eating up a lot of time. So if you guys want to, Dolly's definitely going to be covering it. Sounds like I'll cover it live. So you guys can find him over there. And Dolly Talks. Like Salvador Dali. But don't go looking for Salvador Dali because that's not... You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. So any update on the sheriff that shot the judge? They had a brief hearing and they are going for the insanity defense, but there isn't a whole lot yet. I'm going to take a check and see if I can find it because it'll be worth looking into. But yes, the Mickey Steins guy down in Kentucky. Yeah, not a whole lot. Apparently Legal says, what's Locals? Well, guys, Locals is kind of like Patreon, but with no rules. It's based. It's a right-wing version of Patreon. That doesn't restrict what you do. And you can join us over there. We do the after show, potentiallycriminal.locals.com. Use the promo code WHIPIT. Not like the Greyhound type dog, but a Whippet like you get in the nitrous packets and whipped cream. You know, you might even call it Galaxy Gas. To get 1 month free access, which will allow you to get into the after show. So with that said, tonight, chat, we are all done. Yes. Babu the Ocelot. Yes. So, yes, Patreon doesn't have 5K gifts. Yes, it's created by Dave Rubin. Yes, as well. So with that said, chat, we are all wrapped up tonight. Thank you guys all for being here. God, there's so many people tonight. Such cool numbers. I want to say thank you to everybody here. Guys, if you just posting, thank you. If you liked it, thank you. If you just showed up for a couple minutes, thank you. If you subscribed, thank you. If you share this, thank you. If you have membership, thank you. If you send in super chats, thank you so very much. If you're over on Rumble, if you guys are over there commenting, thank you. If you guys are over in locals commenting, thank you. If you're one of the like 200, it says right now I have like 220 people on Twitter. They're all probably robots. They're all ghosts. Thank each and every one of you for being spooky ghosts and inflating my sense of self-worth because the counter doesn't distinguish. Thank you guys so much for tonight. And just remember until next time, chat, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. Unless you're in Trantifa and you're throwing fucking Molotovs and you leave your fingerprints everywhere. Remember, chat, sanitize your crime scene. Sanitize your crime scene. Plan your work and work your plan. That's how the professionals do it. That's the tip to success. So good night, chat. Take care. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Probably a little later than normal, but I will see you.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney.
EDW Raptor for $5 says, wait, I just got here. What did y'all talk about? Nothing. We talked about Baldos.
Attorney, was that the fat guy that Katie yelled at? Why, yes, it was. He even knows he's fat. For all this fun and more, there's one place to go. Here on Sean Martin's Potentially Criminal Show.
SB Sellers for $2. N. I promise to read. I say it. I read all the super chats. EDW Raptor for $2. I. Amon Rezu for 11 months. G. Good night, chat. I'll see you over on locals.